How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is JustJarrod, but you guys can just call me Jared. And today we are doing another What's Next podcast. And today, during What's Next, we are going to be talking to L Plays Gaming here on the channel. So, how are you doing, L Plays?
What up, JJ? How's it going? I'm good. Happy to be on the show. Finally. We've been trying to organize something for how long?
A long time. I think, well, on this Discord, we had recent messages of, hey, we should chat, and that was like 8 months ago or something like that. So
yeah, we're terrible. It doesn't help that we live in different time zones as well. So.
Almost everybody who covers No Man's Sky lives in massively different time zones. I mean, yeah, it has to be said.
Pretty crazy. It'll be interesting when next comes out. We'll all be trying to do multiplayer, and it will just be a nightmare.
Yeah, you know, I just thought about that too. Man, that's gonna be terrible. I think me and Cobra are the same time zone. And then, who else? I always forget the No Man's Sky YouTubers when I try to think about them. You're in obviously different. I don't know if you think Elka's gonna jump back in. I mean,
yeah, I think he's been putting some videos out about the next stuff. So I'm pretty sure once it drops, he'll come back.
Yeah, I see his videos, but I can't really watch them because I don't understand German very well.
Yeah,
I used to watch him back when he was full No Man's Sky, and just because support, and I was like, yeah, sure, but I just have no idea what he's talking about anymore.
That'll make for an interesting multiplayer episode. He's just speaking German to all of us.
Yeah, that'd be good.
We're all just like, yeah, that sounds really cool. Okay, let's do that. Yeah.
But like, where he just walks off in the distance. We're like, wait, what? What's he going? Anybody know? So yeah, let's just chat about whatever. But I do have a question that I brought up in the last episode of this podcast, which if anybody watching hasn't seen, should check out, about multiplayer. DM21 brought up this thing. I know you are. I don't know if you're a fan of DM21 or whatever. If you've spoken to him.
Yeah, I spoke to him a few times. I watch most of his videos that he puts out whenever it's No Man's Sky related stuff. Right,
yeah. So me and him kind of got into it when #SayHello, happened or whatever that was. But right now we're on pretty good terms, which is pretty sweet. And he had brought up something that I really didn't think about, and that's like right now there's different No Man's Sky modes. You have normal, and you have creative, survival, and permadeath.
Yep.
Do you think multiplayer will require a whole new save because it'll be a mode?
So I actually talked about this in a video quite a long time ago before that one came out. Just so you know. I think the way that's going to work, I definitely think we'll get a different mode. So I think we'll get one new mode, which will be the multiplayer mode. I don't think there'll be two, so I don't think there'll be a separate one for PvP. But I think the main area where I disagree with VW's sort of line of thought on that is I think PvP is going to be something you can avoid. So I don't think it's going to be like turn all PvP off or turn all PvP on. There might be some sort of stealth thing that you can flick on to help you hide from other players or something. But I think like the easiest way I kind of saw that working, because I know we can kind of get into why I think it could be an issue, even though a lot of people think it's not an issue. But I think the easiest way they could just avoid any problem with that is use our scanners and stuff. Now we've got like the system scanner, so you could just do a scan before you enter a system, and it could just tell you that yes, this is a PvP enabled zone, or this is a hostile area. If you enter here and there are other players there, they will be able to engage you. So that way, it's like if the people that really don't want anything to do with that can just kind of avoid it but still be in the multiplayer game, because there's a lot of people that really want to do the co-op stuff and have friends and do hubs and all of that kind of stuff, and it just takes one person who's a bit of a jerk to come down to a hub area, and once you've found that place, you can just grief there non-stop forever.
Especially if like the other people that run that hub are just offline, like
yeah,
but you can just go down and be like, oh look, they're not here, perfect timing, like that's, I feel like I kind of agree with you on that bit, but I definitely do think that you're gonna have to start a new save for multiplayer, and you can't just, it's gonna be a new mode. But just like DM said, I don't think PvP will be a separate mode, because then you're splitting up the community so much across 6-7 different modes. That's pretty insane. And right now, I think most people play on normal, I'm assuming. normal. I play on creative now because I've just been through everything on normal so many times.
I've got so much stuff still to do.
Right, yeah. I mean, have you gotten through the Atlas story?
I haven't done the Atlas story. I've done the Artemis one. I'm working on the Atlas one at the moment, kind of, but I keep getting distracted by Pretty Planets.
Yeah.
I haven't got a freighter. I haven't really got into farming. I haven't ever built a good base. I've
Okay.
built basic bases, but I've never like done something cool.
So you're basically the same place I'm at. Like it's not that I've done like I bought a freighter, but I have never done anything with it. Because there's a lot of No Man's Sky that that kind of that I think is pointless because I'm an explorer. So when it comes to buying a freighter, a lot of people think, and it's all part of the same gameplay loop right now, which is, get a bunch of units to buy something bigger to help get more units to buy another thing to help you get more units. And that's basically what the freighter ended up being. It's just storage, and obviously I think when multiplayer is implemented, they're going to have a lot more meaning. So like I bought a freighter back when there's that bug with farming where you could like plant something in like the basin and then remove the basin, so you'd save building material or whatever, and you could build like
mega farm,
yeah, you could have like a huge mega farm. So I had that in my freighter just for a video, and it was crazy because it's just like hundreds of plants, right, to make a lubricant or whatever it was back then, the money making source. So that's the only reason I ever bought a freighter, and then I forgot I had that farm on that freighter and bought a new freighter, and I was like, well, I just wasted all that time because all those plants were gone. And I never used it because it shows how much I'm attached to my normal saves. I don't even have one now. I've deleted every single one. So like launch day save, I deleted when Atlas Rises came out, and then the Atlas Rises saves I've already deleted when I transferred over to this PS4 Pro. So I don't have any saves on No Man's Sky besides a creative one that I use just to mess around on. I think maybe this week I've got 2 days off in a row. I think I might try live streaming No Man's Sky normal mode on Mixer, because I've been looking over on Mixer, and I want to try to live stream No Man's Sky before next comes out. That way, if there's a bunch of I'm sure there will be a bunch of people that want to get together on multiplayer. That way, I can live stream some of that instead of have every multiplayer thing made into a video. Because I think sharing like experiences on multiplayer is gonna be super cool. Because like
that first time we're on a planet and we see each other.
Exactly. I mean, you get chills just thinking about. Yeah, exactly. What the heck? It's so it's such a cool thing. It's like it's been 2 years of solo play. I mean we have multiplayer now, but I mean even like a lot of people. Do you have all the glyphs in normal?
No, not at all. I don't know what's going on. I cannot find a single freaking glyph. I think I've got like the one or two that you get through the Artemis storyline, and then I've never found one since. Like the whole time I've been playing, I've never stumbled across one since. I've never seen a grave or anything.
And
what am I doing wrong?
It's mainly because you have to be doing that. You have to be looking for them to find them almost. And that was back around the time where people were like, how do you find these things? I was putting out videos like best way to find glyphs or whatever. Because I
saw the thing where like you can do the like kind of bug type thing. Like if you find a guy in a station or something, you can just keep getting a direction to a new glyph from him every time or something.
Yeah.
And then you can get all of them pretty quickly, but I just haven't found that.
I didn't even know about that. I wouldn't do that just because I'm not big on like exploiting, except for that like farm thing that I did just because it was funny. But I did it. It's generally the same. You just find trade station and trade station, trade station, trade station. You just keep looking. But that was back. I remember when it was almost like a portal thing. Back when portals were not operational, but nobody knew that they weren't operational. There was this bunch of groups of people. Like Syrian was big on like just live streaming, trying to open a portal. And I remember watching him play that, and then it was a big like collaborative thing where people were just doing whatever they could at portals to open them. It was the same thing with the glyphs. I had me and a bunch of friends in a party chat. We all just like started exploring everything, because they said glyphs were in cave systems, I think, right? It was what
Yeah,
they said in
yeah,
the
yeah.
patch notes or something like that.
Yeah, well, I think a couple of people have told me to look out in caves to find graves where you find the glyphs, but
I've only ever
I've,
seen one.
yeah,
One in a
I've never seen
cave.
one that way except through the storyline. So,
I
but yeah,
found
I guess you're
one.
right though. If you're not looking for them, you're like I'd literally just wander around like
Yeah.
a bumbling idiot, just being like, "Whoa, this is pretty."
Yep.
So,
I mean,
like I'm not seriously trying to find them, but if I do, that'd be cool.
yeah. They say in caves. I've stumbled across a glyph without looking for one time, and it wasn't in a cave. It was sitting just flat land out in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, okay, it's pretty random, but whatever. Definitely never seen one in a cave. So definitely, I mean that if they were in caves, maybe that make caves useful right now, or like have a point to them. But
See, the only thing with caves and that, see, I don't know, it's weird. Like I know a lot of your like want for what comes next is like more stuff to do and progression and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I think I'm in like a really lucky place because if the game was just here are all the planets and they took out everything else, I'd still be like more than happy just playing it day after day and having a great time.
Right.
And it's like all the little things that they have added for me are like, oh, that's really cool. I haven't even got around to doing most of them yet, but it's like the Artemis storyline. I did that and I enjoyed it. And like even then, when I was doing that, I was still planet hopping loads in between, so it took me ages. But it's like everything else they add is kind of like, oh, that's
Bonus.
really cool. Like I've got this awesome thing if I want to do as like a little bonus, but I don't need it too much. It's just there if I do fancy doing something different. So I
Yeah.
guess like anything there, and I do think they're going to add a lot. So multiplayer, I think multiplayer is going to come with a lot more multiplayer objective, like co-op type stuff to do. So I don't think it's just going to be you can now go and explore together. If you see another group of people, you can attack them. I personally think that there's going to be some extra stuff around that, maybe incorporated into lore in some way, maybe some sort of system where you have to be a team of people to do some sort of objective. I think they're going to bring a lot of stuff along with multiplayer to make it more meaningful. So I hope when that comes along, that would be good for people like you that want that like extra progression and stuff to sort of build towards.
Right, and it's actually not. It's hard to explain. The reason I bring up progression and wanting that was only because they are adding multiplayer. Because I feel like, and this I said this ages ago, where if they were to bring multiplayer into the game, how No Man's Sky is right now, nobody would be into it because there is no progression, and there's just nothing you would be able to do with people, right? I mean, you could, if I joined you right now, we just walk around and what?
See,
You
that
know?
sounds awesome. I'd shoot you with a plasma grenade, run and hide, be great.
Right? Yeah. Great to hide
like,
and seek or whatever.
The only thing I do think because they're making multiplayer one of the big focuses for this update, and I definitely think there's going to be so much more than just multiplayer. I know people are worried about that, but like at this point, based on everything we've ever seen, we know the update is more than one thing, and we know that this is the biggest update ever. So multiplayer is not going to be all that we get for this.
Oh yeah. No, for sure.
But I mean, just thinking of the multiplayer, like even if it was just that, even if it is just now we can see everyone. Now we can get together in a little team and explore together and maybe have a fight with some other people if we see them. Like, think of all the cool stuff people have done, like in the community with just the orbs, like hubs that have been set up even when we didn't have orbs. Then we had like the community day, loads of stuff like that, people setting up little co-op events when it's like, even though you can't actually interact with each other, just with these orbs, people have done a load of pretty cool stuff. So like, I don't know, there's just so much cool stuff you can do if we can properly interact on a planet, even if they don't add
Other
more
things
to it than that.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like, and the ships that were teased, like we got those ships definitely look like co-op pilotable ships as well, right? There's no way that that's not what that is.
Yeah, I think they wouldn't tease it if it was just like a new rendition of something we already have. So I think it'll be something new.
The way it had those little annotations like all over it, like, that was definitely like this person pilots this bit, this person controls the gun, whatever. Mm-hmm. That's what it looked like to me for sure.
Yeah, if honestly, and this is what I tell people a lot, I'm assuming you got No Man's Sky for the same reason I did, and that was as an exploration game, because right now when you look at games, there's not really exploration games, right? It's not like a genre.
That's like the thing that gets me so much. I'm like, there just isn't another game that gives me the feeling that I get when I play No Man's Sky.
Right.
Like, I'd love it if there were loads of other games that were like felt like this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like some games that I've played that kind of capture it for a little bit, but then it really quickly dies off. Like Subnautica was one for me. Really enjoyed that for a good little while, but then it was just one planet. It was just one ocean.
Yeah.
And then like very quickly for me lost the spark. But like I don't know what it is. But with No Man's Sky, every single freaking time I play it, it's just like I find something that just gives me that sense of wonder every time.
Yeah. I've got it, you know, first and foremost for exploration, and what I always said was everything added after is a complete bonus, because when you look at my gameplay, I'm sure a lot of people have played more than me, that's for sure, but I've built a base maybe once or twice, and usually I give up because I try to like build something really cool, but then I hit that like build limit, and then I'm like, okay, I've wasted my time, and then I just leave, start over. But you know, I have never really had a true base. I got through the story of Atlas Rises and the Atlas Path, and actually before Atlas Rises, we had an Atlas Path, and I never ever went down it at all. Like in the beginning, it would say, "Do you want to follow the Atlas?" And I always would say no.
Nope.
And I never did it because I always believed the Atlas was evil, and look where we are now. Everybody was like, "Why haven't you done the Atlas Path?" I'm like, "Hey, maybe that's the secret way. You know, maybe if I don't do the Atlas Path and I get to the center, something cool will happen." I've never been to the center just by going to the center. I've bought a freighter once, but never used it. Never even used my freighter to hyperdrive warp anywhere, because I know you can do that now. The second day No Man's Sky was out, I found a max slot multi-tool, and I never bought one after that. Okay.
I know, like when new people come to like my channel and watch my Let's Plays and stuff, I get every now and again I get someone that's like, "Oh wow, like I'm shocked at how much of a noob you are after playing the game so much," and I'm like, it's literally because I just bumble around in like a state of complete amazement and awe, looking at all the cool stuff. Like that's what I do when I play.
And generally that's what I do, and that's why I didn't like uploading Let's Plays, because I thought people wanted to see me do something, you know, but apparently they don't. I mean, they don't really care as long as you're having a good time, which definitely during the Galactic Hub Journey series I was doing, it was really cool, and that's when I first found Diplos by myself, you know, without going somewhere to find them, or without knowing they were there and actually recording while I came across them, which is probably the coolest No Man's Sky moment I have recorded.
There's so many like really special little moments, like your first things, your first this, your first that. Like, there's just so much cool stuff. Well, I've seen really cool stuff, like where I'll see two animals that, and obviously like it's just the way they're moving procedurally in like a really big coincidence, but they all look like they're interacting in some really cool way. And it just like, whenever you see something like that that's kind of unique and weird, and that happens so much in the game. Like whenever you see something like that, it's just like, damn, that was awesome.
Right. You play Ray Rod's mod, right?
I do indeed.
See, I wish it would run like correctly on my PC. I don't think it's his mod. I think my PC is just not good enough. Back when he let me play, gave me access a few months ago, it ran perfectly. And then when he started doing those updates for like the Atlas stations that you can fly into and stuff like that, it just killed it for me. Like I get on there, 20 minutes, my game crashes. I can't even do the time lapses I was doing with him anymore.
He's always fixing stuff as well, right? So,
I know, yeah. I gotta really try it out over, because he says he fixes all these crashes and whatnot.
Oh, he updates like the version, obviously, because he gives us the offline version.
Yeah.
All the time, pretty much every week, I'm getting at least a couple of like new versions of it to try out. And it's like, and there have been like every now and again, I'll jump into a new version and that will have some issues that weren't in the previous version, but generally they're getting like way more optimized.
Yeah.
And I remember like around the time when he started like adding in the really cool bright atmospheric fog, I jumped on to like whatever version that was. This was like probably a month or so back, and it was just optimized so much better than even like the base game for me. And I was like, what the heck? Like I jumped on, I was recording, I had like a smooth, like solid amount of frames, everything was crisp, didn't have any problems, and I was like, this never happens. Like this is crazy. Even in like the core game, it was running better than like the unmodded version of the game for me.
Yeah, his mod is insane. Like when I first jumped down there and played, and I told this story I think probably on my channel where I was like walking and I turned and I thought I was standing at a wall, and I try to walk around it and I see like toenails and I'm like what the, and I look up and it's just a Diplo through the clouds. I'm like, what? Rayrod, what have you done? I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I gotta take some pictures of this.
Yeah, there's a couple of like colossal sized creatures you can find now, which are pretty cool. I think I found like a 900 and something meter tall dinosaur looking thing, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah. If I can see it when I'm flying down to a planet, it's a little big, that's for sure.
The coolest thing, I found something really cool actually in the mod recently. I found it was like a beautiful, lush, foresty paradise planet, and then there was just like a huge lake that had like completely flooded a forest area. So it was like crystal clear blue water with like vibrant green grass, loads of cool trees, and I could like swim through the trees under the water. It was so freaking cool.
Yeah.
And I was just saying that like all that needed to be like the perfect moment was if one of the sharks or whale like creatures just kind of swam through the trees in front of me. It would have been so good.
I had I don't even remember. This was a more recent video, one of my new style ones where I was talking about Rayrod's mod, and I said earlier today I was on his mod and I came across the planet. I think I was talking about variation and that I wanted, more variation in the PS4 version. And I think I had said I was playing Rayrod's mod and I came across a planet that had trees and grass underwater, and I was so into it. And as soon as I went to take a picture, my game crashed. And I lost it. And I was like, well, at least I know that they're out there. But those are really cool. And I really think if they were, and I tell people this, like if they were to scratch, like take out whatever multiplayer, multiplayer was never, when before launch, people are like, we want multiplayer. And most of the YouTubers are like, no, we don't want multiplayer because we want this to be a solo experience. We want this game that is unlike any game, no multiplayer, no PvP. We want to go out, explore by ourselves and see things that other people haven't seen. And that's a big thing for me in any game, is seeing other things people haven't or cannot see, and then being able to share that with those people, because then it makes you feel like you have had your own journey, your own experience. And that's the core reason I enjoyed No Man's Sky so much, was because you could go to all these planets and do all these things, and you could see these creatures and these locations that other people have not seen. Now, yes, you go fast forward 2 years, people get less surprised because they've seen variations of close to what you're currently seeing or whatnot. And there's still some things out there that I see, like a friend of mine who has played 4,000 hours. He's come across these things. I'm like, I've never seen that in my life. But I think it's to the point right now where a lot of people are getting slightly, I wouldn't say bored, but like unamused by the variation. Because of people who've played for so long. And I think I could still obviously jump on and play. I mean, I still do time lapses, and I still, walk around aimlessly and take pictures like this one that I have on my TV right now. That's insane that I just took yesterday. But if they were to scratch multiplayer completely out, if they were to take all this update stuff and just patch notes released No Man's Sky Next, and all it said was variation update and visual update, I would be 100% chill with that. Because that would bring back the day one launch feeling, where there's so much out there that you have never seen, right? And you could go in any direction, anywhere, and be able to take some pictures and be in absolute awe because you were 100% surprised with what you're seeing. And that was day one for me. Day one was, not just day one, but early on was insane because everything was 100% new. Even though, game released and, people were angry because certain things weren't in the game or whatnot. And that wasn't for me because I was sold on it when the trailer of it was first announced and showed off as an exploration game, because that is all I wanted. I didn't care about anything else. And I still don't, almost to this point. I've touched everything a bit. I only really like photo mode and just walking around.
Oh, dude, photo mode. I need to calm down on photo mode. Like whenever someone new comes to my channel, they're just like, nobody cares about you taking a picture.
Wow. Wow, dude.
I'm like, they're so pretty.
It's too when you could get like that perfect shot and you're like, You know, one thing I always have a problem with is I get like a nice picture and then there's like this stalk of like iridium, and I'm like, I wish I could take an eraser and just like, just erase it out.
Yeah, you can totally go and do that. You can mine it away and then put
Oh,
the base.
yeah, I guess you're right. I just go mine it and then come back and take the picture. But I always am messing around with photo mode and trying to get like really cool shots. What I need to do is I've got like 10 really really good, like my favorite pictures I've ever taken. I need to do like a poll on Twitter and see what everybody thinks is the best. Because I've got tons of screenshots, and I did a live stream where I showed off all my screenshots. That was like 2 hours long. I think I lost some, and I was going through them, and I realized that I was missing a lot of my early ones. So I think
I definitely don't have all of mine. So I put mine from the PlayStation onto a USB.
Yeah, exactly.
Laptop, and then I probably deleted stuff or lost stuff along the way. But yeah, there's taking pictures like that's, I don't know, just capturing those really awesome things that you see is so cool. I've just started playing around with the fog as well, like maxing out the fog. That makes for some really really cool shots.
Yeah, I think I seen one of your Let's Plays where you're talking about people adding fog to photos, and you were doing that.
Yeah. It looks so good.
It was that same. I remember I was watching one of your videos recently, and you were like looking at some birds, and there was 2 of them, and then all of a sudden there was 2 more. Yeah, I was like, what the world was that?
I was like, did I like blink for a second or did I look away? Like,
I like rewound it. I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense.
something's going on. Glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah. That being said, they were talking. I was hearing that like No Man's Sky servers, like you couldn't upload stuff or whatever. Is that still a thing?
I think so. The first time I saw this was people talking about it to Cobra on his subcast, and then a load of other people were talking about it in some of the hubs. Loads of issues apparently are going on with the online like functionality, like bases not uploading properly, discoveries not uploading, people not being able to see other people's bases even though base sharing is on. All sorts of like weird stuff is supposedly going on with the servers at the moment, which is probably something to do with them gearing up for multiplayering next. But yeah, interesting stuff. But like when people first started talking about it, we were like, oh, this means they're doing the multiplayer stuff. Like, what's happening?
Right. I think it's gotta be something like that, because we haven't had issues ever. You know, we've never had uploading or any kind of issues like that. So it's definitely, I mean, maybe Waking Titan. Maybe it's just like they're playing along, doing stuff.
I think the only issues I've ever had is with comms balls disappearing.
Right, yeah.
I think that happened to me on the No Man's Sky Community Day thing.
Oh yeah, what was that called?
Unification.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. It was kind of weird because Unification Day, I went to the planet, left my comm ball, seen all these other comm balls, and then left. It came back later in the day, and all the comm balls were different, and the old ones weren't there. So I don't know.
I don't know if that was like some sort of limit that was being hit all the time, because obviously there were loads of people going there at once. Something weird was going on with that for sure.
Yeah, I mean we've got we've got No Man's Sky the anniversary. What that's now called, whatever, the Convergence, right? That's Cobra's thing, right?
Yeah,
that he's doing. Because
June the 16th, right?
Yes. Wait. Oh my gosh, that's soon.
It's very soon. Yep.
Oh, I haven't done my thing for it. I haven't even started.
Get to it, JJ.
I haven't even started. Oh man, I keep thinking about it. Like keep having ideas, and then I don't write them down, and I'm like, well, I'll do it eventually.
Well, the last week or couple of days, like weeks or whatever, with all of the next stuff and the reveals and the Waking Titan has just like every other bit of my life has just stopped. It's been put on hold. It's been pretty crazy. I don't know. It's like, I don't know about you, but right now it just feels like the best time to be a No Man's Sky fan.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially with all these new people, like, I've got a lot of comments of people saying, "So excited, Xbox fan here, like, can't wait to play."
I'm seeing loads of that, and it like generally it's definitely positive what I'm seeing, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And like you get a couple of people just coming in talking about launcher weather, and it's like no one cares.
Yeah, they come in and they're like, "No man's lie," and I'm like, "Come up with a new joke." You know?
When I see that, I'm just like, what do you think? Do you really think I was going to be like, ha, good one? Like,
yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's kind of cool because the Xbox fans, I was on DM21's stream recently. At least I was watching a stream, and a lot of the people obviously on Mixer are Xbox players because Mixer
Yeah,
is, you know,
yeah, yeah.
and everybody was just excited because they haven't had the chance, the opportunity to hate the game at launch, right? They didn't have that because it wasn't out for them.
Yeah.
So
Well, the thing for every new player as well now, you got to think is like if you're new because you didn't pick it up as a launch, or if you're new because you're on Xbox or whatever, like if you just haven't played it at this point, all of those issues like don't apply to you because you can look at the game, you can see millions and millions of like gameplay videos. Like you just gotta search No Man's Sky and there's loads of them that are gonna pop up. You can see exactly what the game is today, every aspect of it, and then like if that seems cool to you, then you can pick it up. So you got like there's nothing to lose for Xbox people, and it's like I don't know, like a lot of that pressure is kind of gone for them. So like they're perfectly in a good place to just be like, yeah, actually this looks really cool to me for what it is, so I'm gonna pick it up.
you know, it's so weird too when you think, like you mentioned Subnautica earlier. Subnautica is a hugely popular game, and I never played it because underwater freaks me out. Definitely in that there would be no way that I could play that. Maybe if I ever have a PC that can run it, and I'll do it just for fun because it'll make for some cool videos of me like screaming like a girl or something like that.
You should be able to run Subnautica. Subnautica runs really well. It's pretty well optimized.
I'll have to see about it.
I was running that on like my old laptop, which
Oh,
like
man.
it didn't even have a non-integrated GPU.
Right.
So it should be fine.
I've seen people play it because I love how it looks, but when that game is so popular, when you look at that versus No Man's Sky, I feel like No Man's Sky should be the more popular one because of what it is compared to Subnautica. Like Subnautica looks insane and it looks like a great game. I've watched somebody play it all the way through.
Yeah.
And it definitely is, you know,
It's just I guess it's like a smaller scale thing, right?
yeah. And you know, it's all underwater and there's like different biomes still underwater, and visually it looks amazing and the story is really good. And like the lore around it and everything is great. But when you just look at that versus No Man's Sky, it blows my mind that No Man's Sky was just, you know, I mean, not that it was hated so much. I mean, I obviously know why people didn't like it at launch, but
I was about to say the big comment that you're going to get as soon as we start talking about Subnautica is that released as a beta,
right,
early access or whatever. So it was kind of always pushed that way.
yeah,
Which I don't know.
yeah,
For me, like when I bought No Man's Sky, like I don't think I even when I first bought it, I think I got it as a gift for Christmas or something, and like to me, it has always been worth like the full price of a game because the amount of enjoyment and fun I've got out of it is like way more than any other game that I played. So like even if I had bought it day one, like there would not have been a single bit of me that's like I'm going to return this.
right.
I probably would have been like, oh, I thought there was going to be some multiplayer or something based on what I'd heard, but I don't think it would have really. I'm like you, just because that's not really what I was looking for at the time. But yeah, like I get why people, like I get all of the launch stuff, and it's kind of like the way I look at it now is you've made your mind up on that. You know, you're either the kind of person that is like, yeah, okay, that wasn't ideal, but I can kind of forget about that. I can appreciate what they're doing, the work they're putting into the game nonstop ever since, and I can like still be excited about the vision in the game. And you're over it, or you're the kind of person that's just like, oh, I'm never going to get past that. I don't like what happened with that, and I'm not going to support it. And it's kind of like either one of those things is fine. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I always get people like talking to me about the launch, and I'm like, I honestly just don't care at this point. Like, I enjoy the game. Whatever issues you have with it haven't affected me in the same way, or I don't feel the same. You can feel that way. Like, you don't need to try and bring me down. Just let me enjoy what I want to do, and you do what you want to do. That's fine.
Oh yeah,
And that's the thing. Like, you're not going to persuade people at this point that have made their mind up. So that's fine. Just let them get on with it.
yeah. I don't even try to interact with them on like comments. Well, I try. People are probably gonna answer like respond to that in that video. Like you don't respond to comments at all.
You're just going to get a load of screenshots on Twitter of like you responding to hate comments.
right. Well, you know, recently, like before I started doing videos like I do now, I didn't respond to hate or anything like that. If I do it now, it's because it's funny. Like that background music video was a complete respond. Like that was the most response to a hate comment. It wasn't even a hate comment, really. It was just a funny comment that I was like, really? That's what people are frustrated about right now? It's like we got all this new No Man's Sky news, but you can't get over the fact that I use different background music in my videos.
Yeah,
And I
that's true.
think I commented on replied to one guy. I was like, just mute the video and watch it.
Just turn on the captions or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, you don't need to. I don't know. So I mean, now it's a little different. Like I had recently, somebody was like, shout out to whoever commented this. It was like, he said your thumbnails are getting repetitive and it's annoying. Right, and I was like, I responded with, go to any channel. Everybody's thumbnail style is the same. It's not repetitiveness, it's consistency.
Yeah.
Like,
well, my No Man's Sky gameplay is always the same. I always find a really beautiful screenshot and then put the logo over the top.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I just
you want to look at it and be like, that's a JJ video.
exactly, exactly. You know, everybody's got their style. Cobra's got his. MZK's got his like blurred background with white and yellow letters.
Right,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
I just remember it after all this time. You know, and I freaking love making thumbnails. I mean, I don't. It's not. It doesn't even.
Your thumbnails are pretty cool, man. Like, I need to learn some Photoshop skills to do some really cool stuff.
Well, I don't know Photoshop. I don't use Photoshop, but I use like a free version.
Do you use GIMP?
Yeah, GIMP. Yeah, that's what I use.
I've got GIMP. I like very basic stuff I can do in there, but
yeah, I mean, my things are nothing. I mean, I used to do. Now they're less complicated. Before they used to be so complicated. I used to have words in them. I mean, yesterday's video had words in the title to get it across, like what it was. And even then, I looked at it, I'm like, I don't like this because it just makes it so cluttered to me. I used to do like words everywhere, and maybe maybe that helps because people can read it in the thumbnail. But I'm like, it's in the title. You know, I just like it clean. I like what I call like the shattered images. Like there's just different multiple No Man's Sky screenshots, like shattered like glass, and then just separated. It's just super simple. I don't know how it came to be. I think I started that design when I was doing indie game coverage, and then it just transitioned to No Man's Sky. And before I used to have like crazy words and like, you know, everything was like diagonal, because I like that for some reason. And I was just like, you know what? If people want to watch it, they're not gonna. Well, I say they're not gonna click on it because of the thumbnail, but I mean that usually is true with a lot of videos these days. It's clickbait and thumbnails and whatnot, but.
Gosh, we should on this subject. We should probably talk about me using all caps for my titles.
Hey man, I took it from you. I'm doing it now.
Like so many people kind of said to me like, I know there's people that just get really annoyed by that, and I'm kind of like, so with my titles, I do the all caps, and when I started using all caps, there's no denying it worked. Like if I do a video now where I don't use capitals for the title, it doesn't stand out as much, and it doesn't get as many views, and like. That's fine. Like as long as the title is like what the video is about, and I'm not putting in some completely fake nonsense clickbait stuff. You know, like I try and make sure what's in the title is not a lie, and then that's fine. But like, yeah, so many people are just like, you use capital letters for your titles, and I'm like, yeah, because it helps me get more views, and obviously that's what I want people to watch the videos that I make because I put effort into them, and I think they're good. You know, so I want people to actually see it, and like if they don't click on it because it doesn't stand out, then. That's kind of like it's silly not to do it for me, but obviously if every single person starts doing it, that probably won't matter anymore. But
about that, so I used to do all caps in videos. I don't know when. It was a while ago. I've switched back and forth. Like I used to make titles. Like I used to have like a little star icon in my title. Because I think Cobra used to do that, and I was like, I'll try that. And then I was like, that doesn't help. Why am I doing that? And then, you know, I would do all caps in the beginning, and then like the subtitle next to it would be lowercase. And I'm like, trying to find all these ways, and I got so tired of reading like my own titles in all caps, where I was just like, it looks messy. I'll just do regular. And then I don't know if it's the all caps or I mean, I think it's a combination of the all caps and the No Man's Sky news, obviously, recently. I mean, everybody's seen an uptick in views. I mean, I see it on your channel. I see it on my channel for sure. I mean, when I go back, like, after the news really started, like, I was getting... Because, like, a lot of my videos were just... they were few and far between, first of all, because I wasn't uploading consistently. It was just, like, a time lapse and then, like, what I want to see in a new update, you know, and that was it. I didn't have any ideas for videos anymore. I was just kind of... I didn't have any motivation to do videos because of how I was doing them previously. So there was few and far between, and everything was getting like 400 views. You know, time lapse would hit like 500 views or whatever. And I was like, cool, yeah, sure. I mean, that's regular. I mean, because it was just always regular for me when there's no Man's Sky news, because I was always, you know, before launch and after launch, I rarely did gameplay. I just did news and community spotlights or community showcase videos or whatever it may be. I wasn't like big into recording gameplay on the channel, so I was mainly news based, and then there was no news, so I didn't know what kind of videos to do. So where am I going with this? Jeez, I totally forgot. Oh, we were talking about all caps.
Yeah. We were talking about all caps and then an uptake in views, obviously. With the next announcement.
Yeah, uptake in views. Okay, so, and then I remember, you know, recently, views have been just insane as far as, like, for me. I mean, for No Man's Sky in general, views have been great.
I've definitely seen it. Like, I put out a video yesterday, it's got like, or the day before, it's got like 10,000 views in a day or something. I was like, what?
Okay, mine aren't that good. Yeah, so we're going to talk about you just, like, coming out of nowhere, first of all, with your No Man's Sky videos. Like, I remember seeing you, and I remember somebody mentioned you, because... You know, Cobra and me and Syrian, wherever he is, and, you know, a lot of people, we've always been moving. Like, we all started before launch.
The OGs. The OGs of No Man's Sky.
We all started.
Cobra, the father of No Man's Sky.
Yeah. So when all right, let's get through this one topic first. About views, right? When I go back like 2 weeks, and I was just looking, this was right when No Man's Sky news started kicking off. And I did a video when the next update was announced. I did a video on it or whatever, and before it had like 1.6k views or something, and I go back to it and it's got like 20,000. I'm like, what? I'm like, whoa, I haven't had a video hit that in ages. And then I started to realize like things are changing, you know, and then with the style that I do now, I love making videos a lot more now than I used to. I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved to make videos before, but now, when I started the channel, it was generally based on, you know, being serious and being positive, and I never brought like my comedy around or anything. But if you go back, like way back before No Man's Sky, you'll see that I curse and swear all the time in my Let's Play videos, and always trying to make jokes. And then you see like No Man's Sky start, and all of that disappears because the whole point, I wanted to just build a cool, you know, positive community around a game that I enjoyed. It had nothing to do with me joking around or any of that, and I think it just kind of pushed me into that kind of style without me realizing it. So then when I came and I did a few like funny videos, people were like, stop trying to force yourself to be funny or something like that. And I'm like, you don't understand. I've been forcing myself to be serious this whole time.
It's the other way around.
Yeah.
I think that's like really easy to do when you do like news and update type stuff, because obviously you want to get the information across in like a clear and succinct way for people. So yeah, I totally see how, like, I guess kind of you lose a bit of your own personality a bit when you're trying to focus on that. But some of the stuff you've been doing lately, like the sarcastic stuff, like you're just killing it, man. Like,
yeah.
Your box art, like the opening to your box art video, is like one of the best things I've seen. Like, I was just laughing so much watching that. It's so good.
I need to go back and watch some stuff because I don't remember, because I do so many weird things, like these ideas.
It was like you had like this most incredible like epic music, and then you're like zooming in, and then just like zoom straight into the guy's butt or something.
Yeah. That's it. I don't think it was planned. See, I think I got the music and I was like, I want to do this cool epic intro, and I was like, you know what, this is too serious. So let me just keep zooming in.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with my intros and openings lately, especially with a lot of the Wear stuff. Like obviously with I've basically been like a prophet of of like the end of the world and Wear being evil. So I've been having a lot of fun with like, see that like stuff like that is cool. Like when you can bring like something of your own like personality or your like humor into those update and news videos, I just think that makes them so much better. So yeah, definitely like keep trying to do that for sure.
Yeah, if anybody's watching and they're here for succinct, straightforward news, you're probably not going to get that anymore. It's definitely going to be sarcastic, but it's going to be news. I mean, I guess my video on the player model wasn't sarcastic. It was just like instant. I was like, hey, player model, boom, watch the video, done. I was out. Actually, no, in the beginning of that video, I was like, hey guys, there's a lot going on with the Waking Titan, but I'm not going to catch you up. I'm just going to tell you what's important. Because there was so much happening. I mean, for the first time in a while, I was actually into Waking Titan, and that's when people started trying to get when the last 5 glyphs or whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Even though it may or may not have been how it was supposed to go down.
Well, we did it a bit early for sure, but at the same time, like the fact that they used the same theme. So I've actually got a video on this coming out today, like a complete, comprehensive update on everything that's happened. I spent pretty much the entire day yesterday making it and editing it, and I've only just finished doing like the audio part. I've still got to add all the video and images over the top. But yeah, there's been so much freaking stuff. But yeah, the glyphs we definitely kind of brute forced a bit early, but I don't think it'd be a problem just because we did get there early without officially having the clues, but at the same time, they were quite easy to guess. So I'm sure they knew that was probably going to happen at this point.
I know, it's kind of weird that they wouldn't expect it. Like, after 2, we're like, well, and I was having a blast when those, like, riddles we thought were riddles were, like, dropping.
Yeah.
And I was, like, trying to figure them out. I was like, what's, whatever it was called, honeycomb scars. I was like, oh, what is that? What could that be? And I was trying to, like, put it to actual No Man's Sky stuff. I think that's where I like messed up. But
the Emily stuff on Reddit was cool. She was giving us the quotes from actual lore in the game.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was awesome. And well, obviously with like the one word change to give us the code, but yeah, that was cool.
I was into like trying to figure out riddles, and then somebody had got like Horus as one of the glyphs. I was like, well, that's a sky god, and then there's another sky god. And I was like, well, these are just sky deities. So I'm like typing in all these sky deities. I'm like, I want to be the first one to get it. I was like, I want to help out in some way, even though it's not really help because anybody could do this. But I was so into, like, I had Waking Titan up, I had messaging with Peaceful Gamer up, I had the Discord up on Game Detectives, I had like a cool No Man's Sky screenshot on one of my monitors just to like keep me hyped.
Huge shout out to PG and Game Detectives for like staying on top of everything as well.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be anywhere. I mean, the only reason I knew stuff was going down was because Peaceful was typing in the Twitter group that we can't talk about because it's a secret.
Yeah, no, I don't know what Twitter group that is. So
yeah.
Never heard.
No.
But like, yeah, that like I'm always either like editing a video or making a video when stuff's going on. So like that Twitter chat that doesn't exist is like, that's my resource for catching up on.
Exactly. PG will come in with like, things are happening, and I'm like, no, I'm at work, not now. I'm always doing the same thing too. I'm always like filling pastries on the shelf, and I'm like, I just like stop in for a second, back to filling pastries. All right, have a good one.
Just imagine you just like throwing a pastry at your boss and being like, Emily needs me. And just
oh, that'd be great. So anyway, we got sidetracked, but
should we talk about how we actually think next multiplayer is going to work? So we've talked about it being a new game mode, but
in a second. A second. Give me 1 second here. So back what I want to talk about. You remember when you had less subscribers than me, LPlays? What happened?
I do. Like, honestly, it's been pretty crazy. I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know how to explain it. I guess like I don't know, something about what I do people seem to really enjoy, and that's good.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
There's so many, like, not just you, like there's so many people as well that are like so underrated, and I'm gonna just assume a big part of it is luck on what gets picked up and noticed and shared and what doesn't or whatever. But like people like Kyle Culver, for example, like when he does his Waking Titan recap videos, I don't think there's anybody on this entire platform that does them that well. Like, it's just another level. And then there's like, you've been doing the news and the updates and the coverage on everything No Man's Sky since way before launch. And like there's, I don't know. It's really weird how that works. I don't know what it is, but I can't complain.
Right. I remember, I think you were always like, I can't remember. We had talked before. You were saying, but I remember you had because I didn't know who you were, and then I think somebody probably in my chat or comments or whatever were like, you should check out LPlays or something like that. I remember I was like, dude, this guy's pretty dope, and I remember subscribing, and I remember watching like your Let's Plays or whatever, and I remember talking to you, and you were saying something like, I can't remember, just something about growing your channel, and I was like, yeah, and then I seen you just like nonstop growing. And I'm like, this guy is going to straight up fly by me out of nowhere. And I've had it happen multiple times before with people like out of nowhere, No Man's Sky, and then boom, 8,000 subscribers. I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
I think a big thing that helped me personally as well is because my thing was kind of different. So obviously I do a lot of the new stuff. I think Waking Titan, I'm like all over that at the moment.
Right.
Like when I started, and like what I've kind of done throughout the whole time has been like my main thing. People like new people probably won't realize because I'm doing these like super edited, really good like I think they could like update videos and news videos and Waking Titan stuff. But like the gameplay has always been like that's where I'm at home. Like that's my that's once I'm in my little gameplay mode, having fun, just being silly, playing the game, like that's me, that's my thing, and that's something I was doing like all the time.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of actual No Man's Sky gameplay videos, I think a lot of people started coming to me for that, and that's kind of what helped me take off quite a lot because I was kind of the one doing just gameplay, just playing the game,
Yeah,
just loving the game.
Almost you were almost the only one doing that. I mean,
and I think that definitely that was definitely a big part of my growth is because people wanted to see that as well.
Yeah, and I always thought like, why would you want to watch me do something that you can do? Because it's generally the same, except for my reaction. So that's why I never, thought about doing gameplay. And I know Cobra never really did gameplay. And we never really streamed the game. And Syrian would stream sometimes, but we never really did gameplay videos. We were all news-based, generally. And I think the reason for that is because we'd started before No Man's Sky came out. And we had built our channels around just news, for the most part.
Yeah. Whereas for me, obviously, it was complete opposite. So I don't know. I think like, a lot of people don't realize this, but I didn't even come into No Man's Sky until just after 1.1. So like after that foundation update dropped, that's pretty much the point that I jumped in. And I remember like, I think I went back to like my first ever video and I just commented on there something like, "If only I knew back then." Right. Like because when I first like played the game, I remember like I'd seen it at E3, thought it looked awesome, and then never really thought about it again ever since. And then I don't know, life happens, and I didn't go back to it, and I was doing other stuff, and I just never picked it up at launch. So when I got it as a gift, I was like, oh yeah, that's like I'd heard about the launch stuff. So my expectation had kind of maybe been lowered a little bit. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, like this looked really awesome. I remember like when I first saw the trailer and stuff, I was like, this looks really cool. So I'll definitely give it a try. And when I first started playing it, I was kind of like, I didn't think it was going to be a big thing for me, Like I was doing other gameplay and stuff at the time. I kind of thought when I'd try it, I have a couple of episodes, see what it's like, see what it's all about. And even in those like first couple of episodes, you could tell I was kind of like unsure. Like I don't know how far this is going to go. I was kind of expecting like this is like, and that I think the first episode I was talking about the beautiful grass. And here I am like 160 episodes later still doing
talking about beautiful grass.
Yeah. Still seeing like a cool tree and being like, yes, and I don't know, like it's weird. You can never have guessed like back then, but when I jumped in, like I had no idea that it was going to capture me in the way that it did. And I think it took a little while like before it really like dawned on me that I was like, yeah, I love this game. And because like when I went in, of course, like I knew about the whole situation. I was kind of like, I know I'm not supposed to love this game, so I'm kind of just going to play it and kind of go in with the mindset of like, oh, it's just a cool little indie game. Like it's not such a big deal. And then like the more I played it, the more I was like, this is a big deal. Like this is so good. Like, and now it's just like there's just not another game that does that for me at all. Like the sense of wonder and like excitement I get from like exploring in No Man's Sky. Like I honestly can't think of a single game that comes close to giving me that sort of enjoyment. And it's, yeah, I had no idea then, but it ended up being huge for me. So.
I was a little salty, honestly, when I seen your channel just like flying by. I was like, wow, this guy, who does he think he is coming in here?
Coming out of nowhere.
I was like, I mean, back then, even then, when you showed up or I started noticing your videos, I was doing daily videos back then. That was when I had like the worst possible internet, and I still was getting videos out, even though they took 8 hours to upload.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, before I moved, so I'm obviously in the place that I bought now. Everything's perfect. But when I was in like my old place, I was renting a place, and it had a copper connection. Didn't even have like fiber or anything.
Right.
So my internet speed, like I was literally having to like make a video 2 days in advance and leave it uploaded before I could get it out, and it was just horrible. I feel the struggle with that.
I mean, and so I was doing the daily videos, but I don't remember. It's been so long. I don't remember what the heck I was uploading back then. It's the videos just fly by. But yeah, I remember seeing you go by, and then people would ask me, yeah, that L Plays guy. It's like, how dare you watch him? Watch my videos. I've been here for so long. But you know, obviously, I got over it. Like I got over it, like everybody else. Freaking. I mean, I guess that being said, I always look at it like I see you on like the Reddit Hall of Fame, and I'm like, great, great, great.
Honestly, that was like I don't know what's happened, but at some point, somewhere along the line, like I've had a bit of a turnaround with Reddit because it was always hit and miss for me. Like I'd post something, and it would just. I think generally on Reddit, like what most people need to realize is that if you're gonna go in there and post a link to anything to promote yourself, like generally, first thought from people is going to be negative on it just because they don't like that sort of you promoting yourself. And so that's like one thing to bear in mind. Like most people that just drop a link or a video or something are going to get a bit of slack for it or get downvoted or just get ignored. But I don't know what happened. Like, yeah, like the Reddit Hall of Fame thing happened. Like I saw a while back that I'd been nominated, and I kind of read, I think you only needed like 3 people to vote for you or something to get nominated. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Probably like a couple of my subscribers that are on Reddit have just thrown me in, because generally I don't think Reddit liked me. And then I don't know what's happened since then, but now when I post on Reddit and stuff, like it seems to go down way better. So I don't know if it's just like because I've been working harder on videos or changing my style a bit or what, but like something has definitely hit a turning point for me personally on Reddit. But yeah, I don't know. Reddit's a strange beast.
I think if I were to put stuff on there, they would hate it even more now with my style, to be honest with you. And I was gonna make a video 100% based on that Reddit Hall of Fame.
You should do that and then post it to Reddit.
And then post on Reddit. I might. I honestly, if I make one, I will, just because, you know, what are they gonna do? Ban me? I don't use it anyway. I mean, I don't go there. And the only reason before launch, I was on Reddit, and because I was still fairly new to Reddit and all the social media stuff when I started, and I was posting there and having conversations there, and then when I started making videos, I started putting them there, and all it was just constant hate. So I was like, well, I'm done, and I never put anything on there again. You know, I've met a lot of people, like Nevadander, I've talked to, and I think he's on my PS4 friends list still, and a few other people I've, you know, spoke with over there, and they're all cool, but I'm not a fan of, I've never been a fan of the site at all. It's just, I don't know, something weird. It's hard for me to keep up with like Reddit, and you've got all the fan pages and everybody's got their own thing, and like all the Waking Titan, you know, forums. It's hard for me to keep up with all of that. So I think I just fell off of trying to please people on Reddit.
So I'd never even used a forum at all, like until I started getting into, just because of No Man's Sky. Like that's the other thing. Like No Man's Sky for me has been like the first time in my life where I've ever really socialized online properly.
Yeah,
like,
I never had a Twitter or nothing.
I'd never like really got into that sort of stuff before. Obviously in my personal life I've got Twitter and all that kind of stuff, but like I've never done that through a game ever. And I'm normally, like, people don't realize, but I'm a little bit like awkward. I'm a little bit like not sociable most of the time. Like I like to just be at home with me and my girlfriend and just like playing games and not doing too much.
I like to be at home with me and myself. Don't have girlfriends, so I'm right there, man. Except not really.
But it's like I remember the first time, because I was watching like Cobra subcasts and stuff, and I was like, this is so freaking cool. I could never do something like this. I was like, even like the first time I went onto a subcast, I was so nervous, like going into that, just because it was like, I'm fine making videos on my own, like in my studio room without anybody having to worry about stuff. But like playing No Man's Sky and like the community that's built up around No Man's Sky has like changed that a lot for me. Definitely, like now I love talking to everybody about No Man's Sky. Like it's just, I don't know, there's something about the game that brings people together and just makes all of that stuff fun, and it's not something I'd ever done before. So that's actually been like quite a huge thing for me in my life, actually, I guess, which is kind of crazy when you think it's just a game. I say just in like quotes, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you freaking been in the middle of it. You went to do the Waking Titan stuff.
Yeah, so, that's something I would never have even like considered doing before. Like before getting into No Man's Sky and like the community, and I think it started with like comments on YouTube, like talking to people that way, and then Twitter became like huge for me. I was on Twitter all the time, sharing screenshots, taking part in screenshot competitions, just like having jokes and posting gifs and talking to everybody about the game. And it's kind of like I kind of went like slowly like up and up and up, and then I was talking to people, then I was joining subcasts, and then I was like when it came to doing the London live drop, I was like, yeah, you know what, I could stream that. I feel okay doing that now, and that was just, yeah, it was so much fun. That was awesome. I think that's probably been my favorite part of all of the Waking Titan stuff, was that live drop, just meeting the other people there.
Right.
And Alison Smith like sponsoring my live stream was just crazy. I had no idea what it meant. Like when that happened on stream, I was like, is that real? Like what does it mean to get a sponsor? I got no idea.
Yeah.
But that was cool. Pretty exciting.
All right, so you wanted to talk about what, multiplayer?
Yes, yeah. So I think most people are agreeing that there's going to be a mode for multiplayer. Some people think there's going to be more than one mode, but let's go with one mode. How's the actual multiplayer going to work? So we know it's 2 to 4 player co-op, and that got everybody really worried at first. And I was kind of like, guys,
yeah,
it's the same way they advertise Sea of Thieves. It's co-op, as in like party, squad, like your little team. You know, like in most games, think of like Battlefront or Battlefield or whatever, like where you can have like a little party group within the game with more people in it, and like that's what the co-op is. That's you being in a team, linked in some way. I'm guessing you'll show up on some sort of scan for each other, or you'll know where each other are at times or something like that, be able to talk. And then I think there's going to be other people that you can also see. To be honest, at this point, I kind of feel like that's quite a safe assumption for us, because we've been told, like in that Inside Xbox interview, he was talking about the larger scale space battles, actually being able to go and have space battles with other groups of people and stuff. And it's like, you can't do that if there's only 4 people.
Exactly.
And 3 of the 3 that aren't you are on your team.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't have that. So I think it's going to work in terms of like technically how the multiplayer will work. I think it'll be very similar to Sea of Thieves. So I think we'll have that little 4-man up to 4-man team. I think there'll be loads of other little teams out there in the world of real people, and I think we'll be able to see each other. The only thing I'm not sure about is how many we'll be able to see. There's going to be a limit, of course. I'm guessing it'll be server based. I think they're going to move it over to actual hosted servers rather than locally. I think that has to happen for this multiplayer stuff to really work. But yeah, so the only kind of question I've got is like, how many people do you think? So we've got say there's me and 3 other people. How many other like people at one time do you think I'd be able to see and interact with?
Well, I know. Well, what is it now? We can see up to 16.
At the moment, 16 people, including yourself, I think so. Yeah. You can see 15 other people.
I think, I mean, the way he talks about like epic large space battles, right? If you think 16 people in a space battle, how big is that really?
Yeah, so you got four teams of 4. So I could potentially see that kind of being what he was alluding to. He was pretty vague, right? So,
yeah, well.
I mean, yeah, like you could probably get away with that and be like 4 different factions or 4 little teams of 4 people, either like all for all, or maybe you've got like 8 against 8 or something like that. That would be a pretty epic, like, if you actually think about that, like...
If there's 4 freighters up there, or I mean, not even 4 freighters. I mean, it showed on the box art 4 freighters, like each with a light. I'm assuming each one is one person. 16 freighters, like, that's a little crazy, I mean...
Yeah, like, and even like in just the ships, right? Even just the ships that we have now. So forget the new ships that we're seeing and the fact that they're probably going to be co-pilotable or whatever. Just like regular ships. If you've got 16 of those, all like flying around in space, going like with actual people controlling them, so they're like, it's not going to be like the kind of basic combat that you get into at the moment. It's going to be like pretty heated and crazy, right? And you're going to have somebody like me who's just an idiot, like messing everything up and like panicking in the team chat and stuff. And, like, I feel like that would be pretty fun, and that would actually look really cool. Like if you stumbled on, I don't know, 15 other people just going in like all at it. Like, that'd be pretty awesome to see, right?
Yeah, I think
and you'd have like little laser beams flying everywhere and people shooting the rockets and stuff. Like just that would look really cool. Yeah. But I'm hoping it might be more than 16. Hoping.
Right. And that's, you know, another thing is how well is it? How easy are we gonna stumble or find other people to be able to hit that?
Did you well, so this is the thing, right? We know there are hub areas. Like there's going to be there's going to be places where people are going to like naturally pull toward.
Right.
And I think if they don't add some sort of way of making it easier to find other people, which I think they probably could do and they might do, but if they don't do that, I think that will kind of happen naturally. There'll be parts of each galaxy or whatever where people go if they want to see other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you'll be able to like, all right, everyone, let's go here. That's where everything happens. So I think that will kind of happen naturally either way, or they'll have some sort of system for making it easier to find other people.
Yeah, because now it's happening without multiplayer. I mean, we got the Galactic Hub, we've got Cobras
exactly.
and all that.
So
and
like
now,
right now, if you told me multiplayer was on and I wanted to go and find people, the first thing I would do is go to the Galactic Hub. I'd like, I know there's going to be people there. I know that it's going to be full of people, so that's where I'm heading. Like if you really were just like, how do I find someone quickly? Like that would be a sure way to do it, right?
yeah, and we still can expect the universe to reset, right? I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. 100%.
So all those, I feel so bad for the Galactic Hub, man, because they had it so good right off the bat, and then having to restart and move everything, and then they'll have to do it again. That's a lot of, I see like people posting stuff that's in the Galactic Hub now, and I'm like, that's gonna be gone in a month and a half. It's gonna be gone.
It's kind of crazy, but you just gotta hope that the changes they make it worth it, right? If we have to reset and it's because we're getting something that is like close to that E3 vision or even better than that, or like loads of new variation, loads of better biomes, better creatures and all that stuff, no one's going to complain. It'll be like, oh, that sucks. My beautiful planet is now ugly. But then it's like, yeah, go find another one and it's going to be 10 times more beautiful than anything you could have found. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. And I'm quietly confident. Like, so I don't know if you ever saw my prediction. I did a Next predictions video before we knew it was called Next, like way back when it was, 1.5 was teased.
Mm-hmm.
And in that predictions video, I said there was like a few key things that I would bet on. Like, I'm so sure are going to happen. So multiplayer improvements was the first one. Obviously, we know now that that's probably even bigger than I was thinking at the time. A complete overhaul. So I genuinely think like a Ray Roddy style overhaul, something that really revamps everything and brings it closer to like the E3 vision. I think that's what they're going to be going for. And like, there's, I don't know, like I felt that was going to happen at some point for a time anyway. And it's like what you were saying about the variation. Like, you're right, more variation is exactly what people like me who love to explore really would love. Even if you're happy now, like having that would just make you like, I don't know, die of hype, right? It'd be so crazy. So I think they were always like, that's coming at some point no matter what happens, right? But then like there was the stuff that Sean shared a Twitter album, an Imgur album of like loads of overhaul and other modded screenshots. And all of them were like the screenshots that had massive trees, way more dense jungles and forests and like stuff that just doesn't generate in the game now. And I was like, yeah, he was just appreciating that, sure, because it looks cool. But I think that was kind of back then was like we like this, this is the kind of thing that we're going to be going for, maybe even better than that. So I think the overhaul's coming. I think I also said some sort of water vehicle, so some sort of submarine, or because ocean travel at the moment in the game is terrible.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned to you in a few videos when we talk about submarines here on the channel.
So many people are like, why? Why do you need it?
Yeah, that might be somewhat of my fault because I'm always like, I think I brought it up. I was talking about submarines. I was like, we don't need submarines. I was like, I know L players want submarines. Okay, I think they really can't. It's almost impossible, I think, to not update underwater at this point because it is slow to travel underwater. It's unbelievably slow. Like if you jump in there, it takes double the time to get out.
There are times when I'll see that little red dot out in the sea, and I'm like, that could be a really cool shark.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I know that I'm not going to be able to get to that. It's going to take like
ages.
20 minutes to try and get there, and by the time I'm getting close to it, it's going to have moved somewhere else, and I've lost it.
Yeah.
It's just like, So you have to kind of walk around and hope you find another red dot closer to the shore, and that's just not good. But yeah, I think if they do an overhaul, I think they're going to do an overhaul, and I think it will be everything: oceans, planets, space.
Yeah, and if they don't add submarines, right? Just give us we already have an upgrade that lets us like breathe underwater. Why not an upgrade that just gives us like a jet boost or something underwater? Like
yeah, exactly.
If it's more of an immediate fix, then
yeah. And when I say submarine, like people probably get the wrong idea. I don't mean like a big actual like
subnautical
submarine. Yeah, I'm talking about like the little tiny Woodman like mini pod thing that you'd be in, or even like one of those, I don't know what they're called, like the little motor things that you hold out in front of you.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Like something like that, some way of just making it much easier to travel around in the ocean.
That'd make for some really cool you know what I just thought about screenshots? Will your player model be in the screenshot, or will it be your actual person taking the screenshot? when you're in photo mode?
I think the player model will be visible. What do you mean by your actual person?
Yeah,
I think
so
the player,
like you think if I take a picture of No Man's Sky with myself in it?
yeah, I think you will be able to. I think
Dude.
the fact that adding player models, I think we're definitely going to be able to do that, and we're going to be able to make little group photos.
Oh, that's gonna be so cool. I just thought about that. I don't know why.
Yeah, like we know they're adding the player models, right? There's no
Yeah.
question about that. So like, why wouldn't it be in the picture? You know,
Right.
it would be more work for them. Like, if anything, there might potentially be an option to hide it when you're in photo mode if you don't want it in the way of the picture.
Man,
Possibly.
that's
Then
gonna be great.
Yeah, but I feel like it would be more work for them to take it out
Right.
once it was already there than not have it there. So yeah, I definitely think that if you spin around in your camera, you'll be able to see your player model.
Man, what if they add emotes? Like a wave, you're waving to the camera or something like that.
Sean's always tweeting that little face emote thing that he does, the little shrug thing.
Yeah.
And the little ghost waving ghost.
Oh man. It's just.
What do you think? Oh, what do you think? Customization. Do you think that's coming?
I don't see. I want Yeah, I guess I want customization, but I don't know like to what extent. Being able to like change the color, it all depends on what they add. Because I kind of am with you. I think I don't know. As far as like with variation, I think we're definitely going to get an update, whether it's visually, and all that jazz. I don't know if it's going to be as huge as an overhaul. I would love it to be, and I mean, it's almost to the point where we should expect a lot because the previous updates have been mind blowing. Like the Atlas Rises, all we knew was story and portals. We had no idea multiplayer was even a thing that they were even attempting. And like before that, all the main selling points are like, hey, this update's gonna have this, patch notes the next day, and it's like 40 other things. So I think really it's not out of the realm of possibility that we'll get an overhaul variation wise. So I think we're definitely gonna get obviously multiplayer. We're gonna get a lot of stuff in multiplayer. We're gonna get a lot of the variation. And when it comes to customization, I always think, well, what if we do get more progression in the form of being able to change your armor with upgrades instead of how it is now? But then that, I believe, would have to be an overhaul of that system like we have now, which is just slotting upgrades in. It doesn't change you visually and all that, but maybe it will now.
Yeah, well, that was one thing I considered. Is like I don't think they might add a couple of new bits of tech that can add to your suit, but we've already got loads of stuff already, right? So it could just be as simple as like when you craft this thing for your exosuit, there's a little visual representation of that now pops up.
I think that would be great.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I hope we can. Honestly, like the main thing I just want is I want to be able to have an orange exosuit. That's
right. Yeah, change color. Whatever color it'd be down for.
Use that so I can run around in my little orange and be like, yep, that's the little Jippernaut, that's L plays.
Yeah, I mean, like have like a tint like slider where you just change the tint so you can have any of the color of the rainbow, whatever you want. If you want lavender, go for it. Whatever it may be.
Something basic like that would be cool. I don't know. I feel like when you add multiplayer, that's quite an important thing, and pretty much every multiplayer game nowadays does that, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
there'll be some sort of customization. But then again, I get a lot of people saying, yeah, but that's kind of not. Everything else in the game is procedural, so it makes sense that would also be, your player would be procedurally generated. But then it's kind of like, yeah, but you can also like the ships are procedural, but you can buy a new one if you don't like it. So how does that work if you get a player model that sucks? You can't just turn into another person at some point in the game.
Yeah, I feel like you see the colors on the box art now. At first, you could always say like older games, used to do like player 1 is this color, player 2 is that color, but since it's all online, there's no like player 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I imagine like if we're all green, it's just gonna be confusing. I mean, to a point. I don't know. Are we gonna have? Because before they were always saying if you come across somebody, this is before launch, they're not gonna have a PSN name over them. You're not gonna know that they're an actual player. Is that going to be the same? Because they were always like, the only way you'll know if you're across another player is their movement, because it'll be different. I mean, now, obviously, you'll know if it's another player if you're on a planet, because they'll look like another player. But how are we going to know who is who? I guess in a squad, you probably would. I'm assuming in a squad, somehow you'll
Yeah.
know who's who and whatnot. But I feel like the color option, just putting that in there would help a lot, right? If you could
Yeah,
just change
definitely.
color for recognition.
So the way that works is actually something I've been kind of thinking about quite a bit at the moment, especially after seeing the player model released. I'm kind of worried about that as well. So it's like, so in terms of like the UI and how it's going to look, they absolutely cannot stick like name tags or stuff like that over the characters. Like anything like that for a game like this would just kill it completely. Like the like it has to look smooth and beautiful, and you have to be able to see the environments. If you're just filling it with like this horrible text stuff everywhere, and like, I don't want to do that. But I do think like with the people in your squad, I think there's going to be a way for you to like identify that these are your teammates. So whether that's they show up on some sort of scan or something like that, or even if it's just like the people on your team maybe have like a real faint holographic type glow or ambience like around the player model,
Mm-hmm.
something that kind of you look at them, oh, they're a little bit shiny. That's because that's one of your like squad mates or something like that. I hope that's the way they do it, and they don't do some ghastly like tag over the top of everyone's
Yeah,
head.
yeah. Imagining that kind of ruins ruins a bit of it.
And like they won't like the art of No Man's Sky is something that's a massive focus for the game. Like they're not silly enough to just completely fill up the view with horrible stuff like that.
Yeah, we're on like a hub, and all you see is just people's PSNs
Yeah,
just like
it
flooding.
just like just reminded me of like playing RuneScape when I was a little kid.
Right.
Like all the little text above everybody's head, and that's all you can see on the screen, and it's just like
Yeah, so I mean, all in all, I think, the multiplayer is definitely going to be, well, I don't know why my PlayStation decided to suddenly start picking up my voice. Okay, you can stop. Anyway, sorry about that. I think the multiplayer all around is going to be a blast. I don't know if I'm ever going to play any other mode, to be honest.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I think now normal is the way I play generally. I do other stuff every now and again as like one-off things or a separate thing, but I think my main mode going forward, as long as it's done right, will be multiplayer, and that will just be it from now on. Like that'll be the main way that I play for sure.
So Sean said in that interview, multiplayer, you can help each other survive. That's interesting to me because normal difficulty, if you're playing No Man's Sky in normal, you don't need any help to survive.
That's
Ever.
true. That's true. I think it, yes. There's ways to read into that as well, though, right? Because that technically could be as simple as you can share resources with people in your party. You know what I mean? Like I could chuck you some plutonium or whatever you need to like upgrade your life support or whatever, just to make sure you're fine. Like that, just being able to share resources with your party team group would be helping each other to survive. Even like wandering around together, basically, and killing a hostile creature or something like that could be classed as helping someone to survive.
True.
So I don't think that was saying there's going to be like some super overhaul to how difficult the game is and all of this stuff.
Right.
I don't think that's coming. But also as well, like you got to think there's going to be other people now. So helping you to survive could be against hostile players, right?
It could. I mean, yeah. He also mentioned they've been working on balancing.
He did indeed. So yeah,
What? He's
I
so
think-
vague. So vague.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Yeah, literally could be anything at all. You got a big part of me's got to think a lot of that is going to be to do with combat, and probably because you got to think there's going to be people that are playing on their own or with a team of 2 or with a team of 3, and then there's going to be people that are going around in groups of 4.
Right.
So like I imagine he's talking about like they're just finding a way to make sure that however you're playing in that mode works. You know, fine if you go against 4 people and there's only 2 of you, it's got to be a little bit more difficult, but there's probably stuff they've got to do to balance that to make it still at least feasible that if you're good, you might be able to take out a team of 4 even on your own if you're like really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a whole load of work that has to go into that, and that kind of stuff takes forever. You know, to get that right is something that will probably need to continue to be tweaked, like for as long as the game has multiplayer. Every time they're adding new stuff, you're going to have to be considering that and updating it and tweaking it. And no matter how much playtesting they do, like when it drops, they're probably going to spot things that need to be adjusted as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, when it comes to difficulty, normal is great, because I love it because you don't really struggle, because I don't want to have to be like, oh, I can't go over to that mountaintop to take a picture or I might die. Like, I don't want that feeling, you know. I want to be able to just be able to go there because I want to see how it looks, because I'm more of an explorer than a survivor, I guess.
Yeah.
I think if multiplayer took normals difficulty and maybe bumped it up a bit, I'd be fine, but I don't want it like survival, because even then, I mean, even with 4 people, it'd be easier to survive, but I still want to be able to go out on my own and go look at something, you know, or, you know, explore like carefree-ish, you know, where you're not having to worry. Because I know DM21 was saying like he thinks the difficulty is going to be increased because, well, he was bringing up the fact that normal's boring, but I mean that's a whole different player base who play to survive rather than play to explore. I don't think it's going to be survival difficulty.
You got to think as well. Normal was the original,
right?
You know, that the version to play the game. You know, when they launched the game, that was a lot of people say like that's normal is the mode that they intended. You know, that's what they had in mind when they made it,
Yeah.
and then they make the harder modes for those people that do want the challenge. BW is obviously one of those people that is skilled at playing games or whatever, and he likes that challenge.
Yeah.
Loads of people aren't like that. Normal's okay, yeah, maybe a little bit on the easy side you've got going, but I think the thing that I'd kind of say there is he talked a lot about the fact that multiplayer completely changes the experience, and it's kind of like I think a lot of what's different and what's difficult and what's challenging and exciting in multiplayer is going to be stuff they build around multiplayer rather than like upping the base difficulty of the game. I don't think that's the way they do it. I think there's going to be loads of stuff that we're just not even thinking about in terms of multiplayer's coming, but there's going to be a whole load of stuff that they build around multiplayer. There's going to be a whole load of mechanics that are new. There's going to be a whole load of things that to do and to have to think about in multiplayer that aren't just now there are other people. I think there's going to be a whole load of stuff that comes with that. That's obviously that's speculation, but that's got like when I heard him saying like this is a totally different experience, that's kind of where that takes me when I start thinking about it.
Yeah, we're gonna look back on this video and be like, we didn't even know.
Yeah. Like when Atlas Rises, like we were speculating like crazy, talking about all this stuff that could happen. Didn't come close. Like when it dropped, like bam, out of nowhere, 30-hour story, like full story that's actually written with new characters, a new race, procedural missions, guilds, like graphical overhaul, like so much stuff came with that, and it was just like. Whoa. I was worried, like when I was talking about stuff, I was always worried, like a while back I was always trying to be very careful, and like every time I said something I'd be like, this is my opinion, could be completely wrong, I have no facts to back this up, blah blah blah. Like every time I said anything I was really worried about that kind of stuff. And now at this point it's kind of like when I'm making a video and I'm speculating, like I'll say that it's a speculation video, or I'll chuck out that I'm going to be talking a lot about my theories and my thoughts, and then I'm kind of like after that, I'm completely comfortable just running with it. So when I talk about like an overhaul and the kind of stuff that I expect, it's like, yeah, that's my opinion, but I'm not scared to say that anymore. I'm not worried about people saying, oh, it's people like you that suggest these things that build the hype. Like, I'm not worried about any of that, because the people that love the game are going to love the game. Whatever this update brings, like, it's going to make the game better.
Yeah, if you already like the game, you're not going to hate it.
That's what people don't get. Like, for people that love the game already, like, it's going to be good for us. It's just a question of like how much of the stuff we hoped or wanted or, you know, thought might be coming do we get, and do we get more things that we didn't expect, and are they good? You know, that's kind of the only question. There's no question of like, oh, this is going to be awful. Yeah,
I think I've made the joke before. I said if next update only adds the ability to sit in chairs, I would enjoy it.
What was it on the Cobra? Carpets and curtains.
Yep.
That's what we're going to get. Carpets and curtains.
Carpets and curtains. It's great.
So what do you actually think is, so other than the multiplayer, I know you think variation is going to be improved. Have you got like your own list of actual predictions of stuff that you think, if someone was going to say like, before the update comes out, what do you want to put out there as what you think is going to be coming as well as multiplayer? Have you thought about that? Have you got a list of stuff?
I don't have a list because I think the main reason is because I just want variation. Like everything else, like we've talked about, is extra. I mean, and before I think they can almost do anything with this game. Like, there's so many opportunities and things that they could do. And before it was always, you know, we always had a template for what they were going to add because we knew people wanted base building. We knew people wanted, you know, vehicles. We knew people wanted some sort of multiplayer eventually, and now we're getting that. But before, there were a lot more wants that were collective. Like, there was big groups of people that wanted certain aspects, you know, survival mode and things like that. But I think now it's so much more spread apart, where there's everybody wants so many different things. Like, I want my own ideas, somebody else wants their own ideas. I don't think there's a big topic that everybody's like, please, except for multiplayer. So I don't really know what else that I can come up with that will be a possibility. I mean, I obviously have my wants, and I have a huge list of wants right in front of me that I've been making separate videos on, and that's just for the future of No Man's Sky, not necessarily the next update. But I think variation is going to be huge as far as difference. I think we're going to get a lot more ships, you know, variation across the board. I think we're going to get when it comes to ships, multi-tools, you know, the visuals, whatever it may be, freighters. Now we have those new ships, whatever they may be, and we've got multiplayer aspects. But I don't. What's on your list other than?
So I have actually. So I was thinking about doing an updated predictions video, but I'll probably just say it on here, and this will be my prediction that hopefully one day I can look back and be like, I was right on some of this
Yeah,
stuff.
I'll just cut this part and upload it separately. I'll play his predictions.
just upload it as LPlays confirms these features 100% coming to next.
Yeah, right, yeah. It's good.
Watch the hate that I get.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, so my theory, my speculation on stuff that we're probably going to see. So I mentioned the overhaul. I think we're going to get a variation overhaul, loads more stuff and new assets and props. Same with creatures and stuff like that. I think that's also going to come along with another graphical update. So like what we saw with Atlas Rises, like with the better textures and lighting, I think we're going to see something like that as well as the extra variation. I think the lush planet problem is going to be completely fixed. I think we're going to have dense, big, grassy, lush, beautiful planets with actual forests. I think that's definitely coming. I think the trees are going to be, like, everything's going to be scaled up, but there's going to be way bigger trees and rocks and mountains and all of that kind of stuff. I think procedural, the planetary rings that have been teased on the cover, I'm pretty confident that that's coming. Maybe something with asteroids as well. So I don't know about landing on asteroids, but I could definitely see like planetary rings and asteroid belts also being like included. So that's kind of like another one that I haven't heard too many people like the asteroid stuff talk about. What else was there that I had on there? So planet reset I think is definitely coming. I think the ocean is going to be overhauled as well. So I think we're going to get a massive improvement underwater, and like ocean planets as well. I think are going to be much better than they are now. Suit customization, I think that's coming. That's something I do think is definitely going to be in there. And then the other thing that I think is definitely going to be improved is the animal AI. So like the Railroad overhaul mod where you can see like herds of creatures and birds and that kind of stuff, I think all of that will be in there, except it will be like super smooth, much better animation. And the suit as well, that was the other thing. I kind of mentioned my player model video. I know you did yours as well, which is pretty cool, but there's like the way that moves is so fluid. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping that transfers to every aspect of the game, you know, like to the trees blowing around in the wind, to the creatures like moving much better instead of kind of like jittering around sometimes. I think like if they can do that kind of smooth animation on everything in the game, like just that one thing would be such a massive, like you'd be blown away, like when you see creatures acting like creatures and really moving fluidly. So that, I think all of that stuff is possible. So that's it. I've thrown it out there. Feel free to shoot me down, everyone, but that's kind of what I'm secretly kind of hoping and thinking is plausible in the back of my mind. There's other stuff that I kind of want, but they're things that I personally could see happening. And I think a lot of I won't go through all of them, but you know, did you hear the Rayrod speech about all of the cut E3 features?
Yeah, I went through and watched that.
I think a huge amount of that is going to be re-implemented, fully finished, fully polished. So things like Sentinels, when you shoot a Sentinel drone, it won't just explode into nothing. I think it will actually fall down and like be scrap on the floor and you'll be able to see it. All of that kind of stuff that he talked about in there, I think a huge amount of that is going to be fixed.
Yeah, well, I think all that stuff you mentioned is definitely... but I don't think it's out of the question. I mean, I would bet that all that would be there rather than against all of that. I think, actually, I have one thing to add. I think they're going to change the purpose of exotic planets and make them actually mean something.
Oh, that would be cool.
And
I hope they add more.
add more. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I think so. The only, well, obviously we also know to add to that is we're getting the new type of ship. I don't think that's going to be a freighter. I think that's going to be some sort of new class of vehicle. And my theory on that is that that's going to be a co-pilotable thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I think we're getting. I think it's going to be something new. And I think that's going to be added mainly because of the multiplayer aspect of it. There is one more that we haven't talked about. Cities.
Oh my god, I knew it's coming.
So ignore the box art.
Right.
I'd speculated cities and dungeons, and when I say cities, like, just let me set the record straight for what I mean for that. In that video that I did way back talking about cities and dungeons potentially coming, it wasn't, I think we're going to be getting huge metropolis, star citizen scale cities all over the place. It was basically, I was kind of trying to suggest that buildings, collections of buildings, groups of buildings and stuff like that is going to be much better, much bigger. In terms of look and feel, it will probably be very similar to the types of buildings we see now, maybe a little bit bigger, but like, just, I think we could see more collected groups of that. And definitely for stuff like ruins and towers and, you know, monoliths, more of that collected together and more sort of interest around that. So kind of up the scale of what we see now, but just a little bit bigger and grander, rather than, you know, you're not going to feel like you're walking around in old carbon or something like that.
That's great. Yeah, that whole city box art controversy is great.
Like, I think that was always a stretch when people were looking at that and like cities confirmed, because it was like, yeah, it could be rocks, it could have even just been like an outpost that we have now, right? It's so far away, it's so vague, it's like so tiny in the background. It definitely wasn't meant to be like an in your face, bam, cities are coming to the game. So it was like, it could be anything. No one knows what it is. You know, it could be a rock. It could be just a regular building that's already in the game. It could just be a weird bit of terrain. It could be anything.
Yeah, but
like, regardless of that, I still think building improvement is coming.
Oh yeah, when that came out, that, you know, people were like, "Is that a city?" Instantly, I was writing down like, "Time to do a video on cities confirmed. No Man's Sky, all caps. First video. I'm starting with all caps. Cities confirmed. We're going all the way with this new style." I came in on, I don't even remember the video, but what I'm gonna do now for people watching in the future, there's expect a video soon, probably in the next 3 days. There'll be a video out exactly talking about. It's gonna be like a parody video where I confirm every single thing on that box art. Every single thing is going to be confirmed on that box art, and it's going to be in a video, just because of that city thing, because it could be a quote complex colony, right?
Yeah. Oh, so that's another thing. So I personally thought that was building. So I think that we'll get all the minor improvements as well, right? So I think we'll probably get some new minerals, resources like plutonium.
Oh, I hope so.
A load of new tech, you know, because they always add little bits like that in. I think we'll get all that. Build stuff, they'll add loads of new assets. They always do. But I think, yeah, that's something we haven't really talked about. But as soon as I heard that, like, I didn't think at all to do with like cities being generated in the game or anything like that. I thought, that means we can build together. We can build, our own town. Like, yeah, even that could even be it. Like, cities could come to the game, but it could be cities in the sense of we can now all do our buildings in one place. You know, that would be great.
I mean, that's considered.
That's something, and that is a feature that everyone's been asking for since the beginning of time, right? The ability to build wherever you want.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so good.
Oh, that'd be great. Building wherever you want. Yes. I would probably specifically pick a place to build that would make for good screenshots.
But you know there'd be like a group of people that would get together on a small moon and fill the entire thing, so it just looks like the city of the Matrix or something like that.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Imagine just like flying into the atmosphere and the whole freaking planet is just building.
Right. Oh man, somebody would try.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, you had mentioned new like minerals and new stuff to mine. This is something I want. I really think this would improve a lot of. I think, and I talked about this in my lab. Everybody know, if you watched the last podcast, I talked about this there. I'm going to talk about it again, okay? Because I'm so passionate about just this feature being added. It's not even a feature, right? Right now we have like plutonium and iridium and, you know, emerald and things like that. And there's a rarity, you know, uncommon, rare. But really, you could just put common on all those. because they're not
Yeah.
rare.
Yeah.
None of them.
Wait, what's the is it Radnox? There's one that is pretty rare.
Oh
Right?
my god. I mean, you can't even find it on a planet. For some reason, they removed it from vanilla No Man's Sky. I don't...
Wait, what's the one that like floats?
That's Omegon. Yeah, the crystal.
Oh, that is okay. Yeah, that's the
Well,
one.
there's a blue crystal that floats, and that was Omegon. But if you update,
Oh no, I'm thinking of like this is like a weird.
there's
bolt.
Radnox. Yeah.
Yeah, Radnox. Yeah.
Yeah. But those aren't used for anything. So the fact that they are rare, it's great that there is something that's rare.
We need some green stuff. We need some green crystals, like green plutonium. That would look cool.
I mean, and actually, there are green crystals.
What, emerald?
Emerald and all those show as crystals sometimes, very rarely.
Yeah. But emerald looks horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need like a green version of plutonium.
Right.
Some cool green crystals that look like kryptonite.
I think, and you know, they have like in the old, you know, the E3, they had the crystals that always look different. They're more square, instead of like the sharp plutonium that we have and whatnot. And I think if they were to make it so there were actual rare materials, things that were hard to get or hard to mine, or you needed this certain upgrade. I mean, there are that now where you need the certain upgrade to mine like chrysonite or whatever. But if they made it where it was just super tough to find a couple things or like even a bunch of stuff, like they actually made things rare, then I think the whole multiplayer aspect of working together to find things and the whole PvP possibilities would improve, because then there would be an actual legitimate reason to maybe want to, you know, fight somebody. Like if there's a possibility they have something where you know, from talking to them, maybe it's your friend, you're like, you know what, I'm taking Jimmy down. He's got this super rare material, right? That would make, I think, a lot of different gameplay opportunities rather than let's just go grief Jimmy because it's fun, or something like that. I think right now, like, if I could grief somebody, if I could kill somebody and take their stuff, it wouldn't matter because I could easily get that stuff already. Like, I don't have to be a jerk, right?
I'm just imagining, like, the battle for Pandora, like loads of factions warring over a particular planet that just has loads of this rare resource.
Right. I mean,
that would be pretty awesome.
I feel like it doesn't have to be like, because they say exotic planets are rare, but I find those all the time, especially if you're in the Ascendant.
I never find them. So I found the Gobstopper one like recently, and I was like pretty excited about that. But I still haven't even seen all the exotic planets. I've never found a bubble planet. I've only found like the weird yellow glowing glass metal shelter thing. You know what they called. You know the one I mean.
Yeah.
I've only found that one in the Gobstopper. I haven't found the others yet. I'm just like, why?
What galaxy are you in?
I mean, I've just moved to Ascension, but I was like hopping into every planet in Euclid and never found them really.
Yeah. I know, like, at the end of whatever the story, and you can choose like a new galaxy to go to, whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
I went to the Ascendant, which is like Bulladanger, or however you pronounce it.
Well, yeah.
Apparently, Ascendant galaxy. Apparently, in that galaxy, you find more exotic planets.
Okay, yeah. So I went for Ascension, which is the green one. That's because you have way more paradise planets there.
See,
I
didn't even know.
One for me.
I didn't even know what was what.
I had a couple of people like give me the heads up before I got to the center, being like, "There's one that's definitely right for you." Like, yep, that sounds like my kind of place, and it's true. Like, I'm finding so many pretty planets at the moment.
Yeah, when I got to that point, I didn't know that there was a difference besides what galaxy it was, so I just picked the one that sounded the coolest that I think I would enjoy. But, I come across these exotic planets, and they're great, but they are the same. They're the same. There's no, like, crazy, lush, beautiful ones. They're all, like, they look like they were dead planets that they just put stuff on.
That's another thing that I've seen in the Overhaul mod, Railroads mod. Like, I've seen exotic planets that also have, like, beautiful purple grass and stuff. And they look freaking incredible.
See,
that is something I so would love to see in the core game.
I mean, I love the exotic planet. I call it the chocolate bar planet. It looks nothing like chocolate bars. They're like the floating rectangles that are, like, cracked and they glow. For some reason, the chocolate bar planet was what I called it. I made a video on it and I called it the chocolate bar planet. So
I'm gonna go watch that.
and like for some reason I don't know why that came to mind. Like the Gobstopper planet, chocolate bar. I don't remember what it's called. Like bubbles. The weird like the black like cluster of rock that floats. I don't even know what those even look like. But I like the chocolate bar planet. I would definitely like having a base there, and it also having creatures and being lush and whatnot. But I think right now I don't really know the point, because they add these cool things, and that might be the point, is that they look cool and they're different. But they have those machine like circle things that you can interact with that have like the lore in it.
So I saw that the other day, and I didn't know that you could interact with it.
Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, okay.
Went to one of those planets, and like I saw them, took a few pictures, and then off to the next planet. And then in the comments, everyone was like, "You didn't interact with the terminal." I was like, "What?" Like I had no idea that was a thing.
Yep.
Believe it.
And it's got like lore built in, but it's like it's like Sentinel stuff. It's like a lot of numbers and letters, and it's just very confusing to me. I'm like, I don't know what this is. And a lot of people say you should find one of those planets and just keep looking for the terminal, so you can keep interacting with a different one to get the all the lore or whatever. But I think it's too confusing for me and a lot of people to really understand what's happening with that lore. I don't think anybody can really understand. I don't think anybody does. But I think it's kind of a weird it's a weird addition. It's like, hey, there's these cool planets. You can't build a base. There's no creatures. They generally all look the same. They're all dead. But there's these things that you can learn some lore on them. But guess what? The lore is confusing. It's like they have an idea that they haven't fully fleshed out for those exotic planets. I think come the update, there's going to be an update to all of the exotic planets, or an addition, or they're going to make them mean something because they're different.
Lore is 100% going to be added to like crazy for this update as well. So did you see that the No Man's Sky website, right? The logo they've used for Next is the red glowing atlas.
Mm-hmm.
And that logo that they use for the update is always one of the key features that they add in the game. So it's the exocraft, the portals, like it's always, that picture is always a big clue about what's coming. And I think Greg, as well, Greg, is it Greg Buchanan? Is that his name?
Yeah, Buchanan.
The writer, yeah. So he, when he changed his Twitter header to the next box art and updated his bio from working on No Man's Sky Atlas Rises, he changed it to just No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I heard you talking about that in a video.
Yeah, so like I'm pretty confident that he's been back working on the lore for them, and I think we expected more lore anyway, but I think that's, at this point, that's one of those ones that I'd chuck out as I'm pretty confident that we're definitely getting more lore from Greg.
Yeah.
And hopefully that will expand on the exotic stuff. It's a bit like Waking Titan, right? There's loads of stuff that's kind of like loose and open-ended and doesn't make a lot of sense, and then we kind of need them now to keep building on it and pull it all together some way.
You did see the original post by Sean on when Next released that they said No Man's Sky Next would expand on the story, right? Like he said that. Yeah, he said that. I'll have to find it and give it to you after this.
I don't think I did. I don't think I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw with Atlas Rises, they mentioned that the story would be.
No, because I did a video because people, when the interview happened and all that was talked about was multiplayer and it was very vague. People are like, "Wow, all we're getting is multiplayer. Great. What about people who don't want multiplayer? All this jazz." And I put a video out and I was like,
the tweet from Sean just said, what was it? It was just like next coming summer. This was about to leak or whatever. And then we got the press release as well, right? And the press. So I did a video about the end of that, like where it was, because he mentions in that press release where they're talking about the multiplayer stuff. That there's going to be a load more surprises, and I was like, well, obviously we're 100% getting more than just multiplayer.
Right, exactly.
They wouldn't say that. But I didn't see anything about story being mentioned.
Yeah, I'll find it. It was on one of the articles or something.
Was it wording? Was it something like this will continue the story of No Man's Sky, or was it like mentioning lore in the game?
I think it was more than continuing the story, because continuing the story is vague. Like that could be.
Yeah, I need
adding
to see
addition. Maybe it was that, and I just totally didn't think about that. I mean, that's also a possibility. But yeah, I did a video. I was like, people don't freak out. Like, what? And that's when I think I said they could just add sitting in chairs and I'd be fine. Like, because like right now everybody is enjoying the game as it is. I mean, the fact that we're getting an update, the fact that it's free, the fact that it's adding a multiplayer option, which we never thought was going to be a possibility, like as far as this in depth. Don't think that they're just adding multiplayer after a year when, there's that clip of Sean 4 years ago saying, there's this really cool, exciting thing that, we're not going to talk about right now that will effectively add a more traditional multiplayer to the game.
Well, he put that tweet out as well recently, didn't he, where he was like talking about, we learned our lesson from launch, now tell me about unfinished features.
Yeah.
Me, that came across straight away as like, we're not going to talk about the other stuff that's not finished yet.
Yeah.
Like, there is other stuff, we're not going to talk about it, you'll see it when it comes. So yeah, I was so surprised by that, like the reaction to the player, just I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like everyone was like, oh, I don't even want multiplayer, this is garbage, this is going to ruin the game, they're going to force PvP, it's going to become like a COD that's full of 10-year-olds being griefers. And I was just like,
Yeah.
There's going to be way more than just multiplayer. Like, we know that. Like, without actually knowing officially what's coming, like, we know that there's more than multiplayer coming.
Yeah. And if for the record, anybody watching, if you're a 10-year-old and you play this game, let me know, because I rarely meet anybody younger than me who plays this game. Like I talk to,
That's true.
I used to talk to a lot of people. While I'd be online, and I had a No Man's Sky community on PlayStation, which I still do. I don't ever upload it or update it because it's just so much extra work with if it was more accessible and easier to do stuff, I would. But there's so many communities out there and so many pages I've started. Like I started a Facebook group and I completely abandoned that. It's hard for me to keep up with.
I made a Facebook which I never use at all.
Yeah, exactly. So I used to talk with all these people in the community, and I used to have like streams where I would talk in player chat and stuff like that. Never did I meet anybody talking to that was younger than me.
Yeah, that's it. It definitely seems like a more mature audience.
I think Fortnite's got all the younger people right now.
Or if you are a younger person watching that plays the game, cool, that's good.
Yeah.
Just don't be rude when we meet in multiplayer, and we'll all have a great time together.
Yeah, this is not going to be COD in space, okay? Oh, they already had COD in space, I guess, but
yeah, yeah, COD in space is COD in space.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. Yeah. Okay. But I think all around, I really think this is going to bring a lot of people back. I don't think.
I think we'll definitely get, actually, with the Xbox launch, we'll have younger people coming as well.
Right.
I think there'll be a massive influx of people like all round, but definitely some of those will probably be the younger people.
I don't think it's going to be as big. I don't think it'll ever be as big as it was before it came out.
So I think Next overall has a pretty good chance of being close to as big, because, and that's mostly just because of Tencent, in my opinion, just because that's basically the Chinese version of Steam, except way bigger than Steam. So
is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's coming to that platform for like the first time ever. So yeah, that has huge potential for them, and I do think a lot of people on Xbox are going to pick it up. It's not going to sell anywhere near as many as it did on the PS4 launch. Obviously on Xbox, it's a smaller market, and an even smaller group of those people playing it are actually going to pick up No Man's Sky after everything they've heard about it, probably. But yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be pretty big for them. I really do think it's going to be pretty big for them.
For the last topic before we end, okay? Do you think No Man's Sky, in any way, shape, or form, will be at E3?
I don't think it will be on any of the. I don't think we'll be at Microsoft. We're going to see it. It would be at Microsoft, in my opinion, and not Sony. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we'll see it at stage. So caveat to that, I think it might be there. So we know 5x5 games are going to E3. We don't know what games they're going to be showcasing, and they've got a lot of other games that are probably more likely to be shown off. But I think it will definitely be there, probably on like the floor or something, as some sort of tease or information about it, even if it's just like talking or rehashing stuff that's in the Inside Xbox thing. In some way, it will be at E3, but it won't be on a conference. It won't be on a main stage. It won't be a presentation. I don't think we're going to get the trailer at E3. And if we do see anything about it, I think it would be like in the Xbox bit where they mention, like when they do stuff like that. And we've also got a whole load of third-party and indie games coming to the platform, and here's a quick show reel of, and then they just show like a load of clips of all the little games that are also coming, and it's kind of just like a scroll screen of loads of different ones with some cool music. I think we might see No Man's Sky flash up in there, but I don't think it's going to be any more than that. I would love to be wrong on that, by the way. Like if Sean came out, on stage, Microsoft E3, bam, here's No Man's Sky next. I want to, if he just comes in with 2 years ago we launched the game, and now today I just want to show you what's changed, and then boom, jumps into some next gameplay, that would be crazy. I just don't see it happening.
I think what you said is more possible. I think it'll be on like a stage of some sort, but I think it'll be like a show reel thing. I would love it. I would love for them. I don't want Sean to be on stage. I feel like if Sean is on stage, or if they show the title No Man's Sky before gameplay on stage, it'll be booed. I think it'll just be 100% booed. I think 80%, 85% of the people who go to E3 and sit in those things, they have no idea what's changed with the game. Right?
Yeah, that's why I don't see it ever being on stage with Sean doing a presentation again. Maybe at some point after next in the future that could change, but like even then, there's just so many people that they're on that bandwagon now. That's their opinion on the game, and that won't ever change no matter what happens.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely think you're right, and that's why they did Inside Xbox. That's why they flew him out. That's why it was a private interview in that secluded studio that nobody knew about and nobody could see him in. It wasn't like a live audience. For that exact reason, there would be loads of people that were just like, "Boo, your game sucked." That's what would have happened.
But interestingly enough, I know Sean did not want to do that interview.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't ever want to do any.
He doesn't want to do any of it.
I think also, just on the subject of E3, if he does go on stage at E3, he'd be a liar, because I'm pretty sure I've heard him say that he never wanted to do that again.
Yeah. If he does, I mean, he's gonna be on stage staring at the floor talking like he was in the Inside Xbox interview.
That's him. He's always been.
I know, it's late. Did you see his tweet? He's like, "What is so interesting on the floor?" And he tweeted out his own interview.
I think I just responded back to him like, "I'm pretty sure I saw a little get grunting."
It's just very interesting to me that he went for, like, yeah, maybe, since Microsoft is, they're releasing it on Xbox, so they wanted him to come down and do like an interview or whatever. But to be there for 8 minutes of an interview, it's just, I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, if they want to get the word out there to people, I guess, who are on Xbox, yeah, Inside Xbox would be the best way to go. But I feel like if they're willing to just do, I've never heard of Inside Xbox until I heard No Man's Sky was going to be on there. So I don't know how popular of a thing it is.
Well, so I've been told it's actually a pretty big deal for Xbox.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So that is quite a big event. Well, not event, but like it's something that they look forward to, and a lot of people tune in to see what's on there.
All right. Well, then, maybe that's it. Maybe they were just like, hey, this is the best way to get it out to Xbox. And but I think it's like, I did a video already on this where I thought there's no way they would be. I don't think Hello Games, I don't think No Man's Sky Next is going to be at E3. I don't think any of that, because they'd get booed. Sean's never going to be on stage again. They're going to have to watch out for like sniper towers or something, because everybody hates him. I don't think it would. But then I see them, this small thing that we never even expected him to be there. We just we're like, Inside Xbox, right, we're just gonna get some details, maybe a few things, and then they're like, we've got Sean here, and we're like, what? Sean's alive? What?
Like, when I saw him and heard him start talking, this feels great.
Yeah, I mean, he looks super proud.
Yeah, he looked happy. Like, the first thing I thought he looked younger, and then we realized he tweeted afterwards about his the makeup team they had there, like they forced him to wear makeup. Yeah. I was like, that explains it. That's why you looked younger. He looked happy, right? He looked happy and healthy, and like he obviously is not in a position where he is dreading the launch of it. Like, he looks like he's excited for us to get it, and that has me really excited.
He looks happy. He looks proud, and he's sassing people on Twitter.
Oh, he is on fire on Twitter at the moment.
But is that enough for him to be like, you know what? Screw the haters. No Man's Sky trailer at E3. On stage. Microsoft.
So if it was gonna be if they were gonna be on stage, the only thing with that is like timing maybe. It would make a massive amount of sense to generate hype if they drop like a big awesome next trailer gameplay. It would have to be a gameplay.
It would have
trailer.
to. Yeah, I was talking about this on the last one. It would have to physically say gameplay footage, even if it's right in the middle of the screen, so everybody sees it, right?
Yeah,
so
and they've done that ever since, right? Every trailer has said like in-game actual.
Oh yeah, you're
footage.
true.
Atlas Rises and everything, like they all
Yeah.
like they would have to do that again for sure. But yeah, like that, like if there was ever a way it was going to go down at E3, that would be the way to do it. It would be just be, and here's, you know, just show the trailer. That's it. Don't have anyone come from Hello Games to talk about it.
No.
Just show the trailer, and then, you know, whoever's presenting on stage maybe say a quick word about it, and then move on to the next game.
And they need to show the trailer first before showing the title, because if they have the title first, instantly nobody cares.
You're gonna recognize it's No Man's Sky the second in the trailer.
Right.
But yeah.
I agree. If they can put together a banging trailer, I mean, you'd think there's got to be a trailer sometime. Sometime we've got to get a trailer.
Well, so this is the only thing, right? When E3 is June, right? Is it early in June?
2 weeks from now.
Yeah. So the only thing for me was that maybe that's a bit early, just based on how we know it's not coming till July 24th. If say E3 was like at some point in July, and then the update was coming July 24th, I would be like, they would be complete fools not to show the trailer on stage at E3 if it's that good, if it's really good. Like, that is massive, you know, the chance to present that to the Xbox community for the first time and have it be next and not, you know, anything else. Like, that would be awesome, and it makes a lot of sense from a business perspective. So it would be amazing for them to do that, and it would make a lot of sense, but it's just, are they going to be at the point by the time we get to E3 where they have it ready to that level to be able to do that?
That's a good question.
The other thing is, like, you kind of would hope that I guess like we know we're going to get a few more teases through this Mercury update from Waking Titan as well, right? So we got the player model, and it said in that it was 1 of 3.
Yeah.
So we know there's 2 more of those coming. So I guess we could get a couple more teased features through Waking Titan, and then bam, trailer plays at E3. I would love that, and it would make sense in terms of like pushing the game. I don't know. I don't know if I buy it being there. Right. I would like it to be there.
Oh, I'm gonna be. You know what? I might have to just request one of the big days of E3 off, because there's so much gonna be at E3 this year that I'm excited for. Games recently have been a little, like always playing No Man's Sky. God of War was insane. Of a game.
I need to finish it.
I
was playing it. I was playing it on the channel, and then I got so sidetracked with next news and the Week of Titan, and it's just taken over my life. But I'll definitely get back to it.
Oh my god, that got definitely. I've told multiple people top 10 for my favorite games. It's so good, and I mean they have photo mode now. I might just jump back into it just to take some really cool photos, but
I'm purposely not going to use photo mode until I finish the game. Otherwise, I'll never finish it.
Right. I mean, as far as games go, recently I haven't really been playing much. I mean, I completely dropped BR games. I'm not playing Fortnite. I'm not playing any BR games because it's a colossal waste of my time. I'm not saying they're bad. I liked Fortnite and playing with friends, but I just can't. If I play Fortnite, you're not getting any videos from me. Like, that's just where it's at. It's gonna completely destroy my life. So I've just been waiting, and I know there's a lot of good things coming out of E3 this year.
Yeah, I'm hoping E3 will get me really excited about something, because I get like there's games that I'll play and they'll come out and I'll pick up and it'll be cool, and I know that. But like the only game I can really think of, like in the back of my mind, that I'm kind of seeing as a game that could have me like really hyped a bit further down the line is Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah, that's a long time though.
Yeah, and we're not at the point yet where I'm getting that super hyped. It's kind of one that I'm watching kind of thing, and then once we start to really see some stuff, it could end up going the way of me being like, this looks freaking insane. There's
one game that I'm pretty excited for. That's called Cyberpunk 2077, and that's being made by CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Same people who made The Witcher 3.
Is like such a masterpiece.
Except they say it's 4 times bigger than The Witcher 3.
Yeah, I freaking
and
love
that's insane. So
the only thing with that is the same thing happened to me with like all the Elder Scrolls games, and not the Elder Scrolls games, sorry, Bethesda games.
Mm.
Like my favorite setting had always usually been like fantasy, like
Yeah.
the swords, axes, and magic.
That
Dragons.
used to be mine. Yeah.
Yeah, like that kind of thing was always my favorite. And then like so, I loved Skyrim. I didn't really get into Fallout 3 for a long time, and then like when I did actually go and play Fallout 3, I really enjoyed it. But like that kind of world, like the greys and the darkness, and like I don't find that as exciting. But then Cyberpunk, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of like I've kind of moved over to sci-fi a bit with No Man's Sky and other stuff. But I think Cyberpunk looks really cool because it does look more like Altered Carbon-y, like there's loads of bright stuff, and it's not going to be like a dull grey environment. So yeah, that just,
it's the same with me.
We know it'll be awesome, like made by the people that made The Witcher. It's going to be
exactly. Great. It's the same with me. I loved Skyrim. Skyrim was great. I love fantasy, dragons, swords, you know, all that stuff, that medieval type gameplay. I never was into sci-fi as a kid. You know, I played a lot of Assassin's Creed on Xbox. I had a 360. I never had a PS3. I was a big Xbox fan, and I played the first real sci-fi based game I played was the Mass Effect series. And that all I have to do is say Mass Effect and I get chills. Favorite game series of all time is Mass Effect series. I don't like the new one. We're not going to talk about the new one. But the first three I freaking loved, and I think that's what really got me into sci-fi. I played through the first three. I played through all three of them when they were all out, so I didn't have to wait between them. I didn't know about them before. I just bought all three in like a collection, went home. I was in high school. Didn't do anything else but play games, basically what I do now. And I just sat and just played through all three of them on like, I don't know, it was like Christmas break or something. Played through all three of them. Was in tears at the end. It was so good of a game series. And then I think that really brought me into sci-fi. That's why I'm excited. More so excited for Cyberpunk 2077 than I was for The Witcher 3. But the issue is, with games I find recently, is, you know, in the past, we're always like, we want huge games, huge open worlds. And it's almost weird because, you know, I play No Man's Sky, and that's the biggest open game, right? But I find like The Witcher 3 and Fallout 4, I just fell out of them because they were so massive. I just got completely, I don't know, it's very strange. I got to a point where I just couldn't play open world. I couldn't play single player games because I was so used to, because back in high school, before college, I didn't have internet, so I didn't play online. I was always into single player games. And then when I moved, finally got internet, I think what it was is I was trying to catch up on all the multiplayer that I'd missed. You know, I'd never been able to play online. So I just played multiplayer nonstop. And that's I started streaming. I was streaming on Twitch before YouTube, and then I switched to YouTube. So I'm always talking or interacting with somebody while playing a game. So when I went back to just single player by myself, it just was less exciting because I wasn't interacting with other people. So I think that it killed it for me. I couldn't play anything. Witcher 3, Fallout 4, they were all great, but I just couldn't get into them. And then I think recently, finally, God of War, I was able to sit down and just enjoy it. Because God of War was mind-blowing of a game as far as, you know, and I flew through it, obviously, because just nonstop played it. But
the whole like everything in one take is so cool. Like that's the thing that...
Yep. Definitely great. People are making like cool things with the photo mode, like being able to pause it and then like rotate around and then like resume the play. I don't know how they're doing it, but I don't know how the photo mode works, but apparently it's super good.
It looks pretty good.
So I might just jump on there and just take pictures, really, because it's just the only thing I'm really relatively excited for. It comes out in like a week is Onrush, and that's like a racing destruction kind of base game. Was it you that responded to my tweet that put up a video of it on Twitter, I think?
It might have been. Did I just say it looks really cool?
Yeah, I think it was in the beta, and I tried to post the link to it, but the link was broken or something. But yeah, that's the only game I'm really excited for because it's amazing that PS4 has been out this long and there's no racing, really.
Did you ever play a game called Split Second?
Dude, my favorite.
That was
favorite. I've
I was
never
like,
met anybody who also played it.
like it wasn't. It was made by like Disney or something.
Disney, yeah,
Yeah,
Disney,
it was like what the like when I played it, I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen
yeah,
in terms of like a racing game. It was just absolutely insane. And then
yeah,
it was like when it was said it was made by Disney, I was like, no way.
yeah. Disney,
That was really cool.
Black Rock Studios, and they were working on a second one, and then they shut the studio down.
Yeah, we need a revival. We need someone to bring it back to life. I'd definitely play
That's
it,
so
dude.
crazy that you know what that game is. I bought that. I was just so into that, and that goes on
I have a
to
lot of fun with that.
it goes on to what I was saying yesterday in the other podcast was games that have spontaneity, right? Where things happen, but never in the same way. You know, like you could play split second because, well, you have a split second to think about what to do, but it's always different. There's always so much happening. You know, same with No Man's Sky. There's always something different. The same with Rocket League. I love playing that because there's always different. You know, it's like you never see the same game twice, and that's why I like those kind of racing destruction games. But there hasn't been any in ages on any system. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Forza because it's mainly like you don't want to scratch your car. I don't like those kind of racing games.
Simulation, isn't it?
Yeah, I just want to just smash like Destruction Derby. That was an old PS2 game that I
Yeah, I
loved.
played that. That was cool.
You know, that's what I want. And the recent Need for Speed was terrible.
Oh man, like Need for Speed used to be so much fun back in the day when I was young.
I was
And
so
then,
it just they killed it.
I remember I jumped in at like I hadn't played one for ages, and then I picked up Pro Street or something,
Yeah.
and it was just like a track racer that wasn't even a really good track racer, and I was like, this isn't Need for Speed. What the heck?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they had the one that launched on PS4 when PS4 launched was good. It was Most Wanted or something like that. It was good. It was cool, but they removed car customization, and I was like, why? Like, what, does it make any sense? I mean, old Need for Speed, you could do anything you wanted with your car almost. And then this recent
a lot
one,
of stuff was like neon lights and stuff. Like you're not supposed to have them now, so
yeah,
take that.
wow, yeah. And then recently they had like card packs that you could get with like microtransactions to upgrade your car. I'm like, what are we doing? You took 3 years off to make this? I was like, so I couldn't stand that. But there's
Hashtag neons customization for No Man's Sky ships.
yeah, there we go. Oh, dude, neon like strips on your ship.
LEDs everywhere. I love LEDs. So I've got LEDs on my desk. I've got them in my like sideboard that I have my TV on in the main room.
Wow,
LEDs are great.
nice. Did you're like record? You have like a recording room.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Is it like super dope? Have you put a picture up on Twitter before?
I think I might put a picture on my desk. So I need to finish.
You've got one of those cool expensive desks, don't you? The ones that raise.
Yeah, like electric stand up and down.
When you posted that on Twitter, I like clicked on. I was like, "How much are these?" I'm like, "Jesus, I don't have that much money." Like, why?
They're good. Like I'm only gonna buy one. But yeah, like I need to. I've got to get some shelving up in here, so I'm gonna put some shelving along one side, and I'm getting like a built-in cupboard set at the back. So once that's done and everything's set up, I really want to display all of my No Man's Sky stuff. I don't know if you saw my collection video, but I've got a lot.
The only reason I didn't watch it is because it's just gonna make me want to get what you have.
It's like I genuinely, so I'm pretty confident that is the biggest No Man's Sky merch collection that exists, like from anyone that's not at Hello Games.
Right.
I don't know of anyone else that has anywhere like near that amount of stuff, and it's not like that's not a good thing. I've definitely got some kind of illness.
Wait, did you get an
But,
Atlas
like, I
Pass?
just can't resist it, and I really like once I've got the shelf stuff in here, I just really want to get it all displayed, and then like once all of that's done and everything's set up, I'll do like a little studio video so everyone can see how I have my setup. But yeah,
Yeah, I might do a video like that. I don't know. It's not really. I've already done a video. Every time I record a vlog, it's in here. I mean, it's not really that. It's always a mess in here, man. It's not even a mess.
You can do it. You can tidy it up, make everything look perfect.
Yeah, I might do that when I move, because if I move, it'll be in a few weeks.
Yeah, when you move, it'll be cool, like doing a new house tour.
Yeah, and then I'll have my own. It'll be a bigger room. I'll have a lot more lights because I don't have like a ceiling light. I have like these big IKEA lights.
Yeah, I've got two big like photo shoot light things behind my desk.
Right. I need those, like the ones that pro YouTubers use, like the cool ones with like I don't even know what they are. Might be what you have. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so the only thing with mine is I want to get them mounted on books. At the moment, they're on the metal stands.
Right.
they just look so much cooler if they're on the wall.
I don't know much about lighting or any of that when it comes to that stuff. No idea.
I just Google is your friend. Like,
right, exactly.
Someone on the internet tells me it's good. Yep, that'll do.
Exactly. That's basically what's been my entire YouTube thing. I'd be like, I need a microphone. Okay, this one's good. I need a webcam. This one's apparently good. I need to build a computer. I don't know how to do that. Let me just Google search it.
That's like my next big project that I need to do is the PC.
Yeah. Do you know how to like build one pieces?
No.
All right.
So
just Google it. I have no knowledge. Like when people are like, "What kind of this do you have?" I'm like, "Dude, I put it together and bought the parts, but I don't remember." Okay, I don't know what any of it means. All I did was buy everything. I think Syrian helped me, which helped a lot. And then I just watched a video on how to put it together. That was it. It worked perfectly first try. I was like, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll be able to do it as long as I watch the video on it.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, it's just a lot of effort and time that I don't have at the moment.
Yeah, it is quite a bit. But you don't have any time putting out all these Waking Titan videos.
That's why I don't have any time. Like,
right.
Whole life.
If anybody,
I haven't been going to the gym because I've been doing I've got my real life career, which takes up like more than a full-time career's worth of stuff, and then I've got my YouTube, which is like every other second of my spare time.
Yeah, at least that's more interesting than what I'm doing. I just got a freaking grocery job, so woo.
One day we'll be YouTubers, and that will be our career.
That'll be great. That'd be great. Oh yeah, do you have an Atlas Pass?
I have 2 now. I'm gonna give one away to one of my patrons.
Oh right, I read about that. Yeah.
Random giveaway, but yeah, so I didn't get one sent to me, which is like I'm still a little bit sad about that.
I'm surprised I got one really.
Yeah, I ended up like buying 2 for. I kind of like downplayed it in the video that I did because I don't want people to spend loads of money on them, but people are scalping them at silly prices. But I still ended up picking up 2 because they weren't as bad as some of the prices I'd seen.
Right. Wow, they really that bad?
Yeah. Like some of them were like listed on there for like £100.
What the world? Okay. What have we done?
Did you write the time down to edit that bit out as well?
I'll be able to see it on the audio waves.
Okay.
It's been 2 hours and 15 minutes.
All right, we should probably.
So much of this could have been just us just talking without recording it.
Yeah, maybe you need a little bit of heavy editing on this one.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I think what ended up just happening is because we've never talked at all.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that was kind of a cool thing. We just kind of, maybe I'll put it on Twitter. I'll be like, hey, do you guys want to see the whole conversation, or do you want me just to put the No Man's Sky stuff? Because I can do that if people want it like that. 2 hours of an upload. Or it's not even the upload that takes a lot of time. It's just the exporting it from Adobe. It took me like an hour and a half to export an hour and a half video yesterday, which isn't. It's not bad, especially since yesterday I wasn't in the house at all. But if I'm here like trying to do stuff on my computer, and I have to export a 2 hour long video that's gonna take 2 hours, and I can't use my PC for 2 hours, or Adobe will crash or some stupid stuff.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, we could probably end it. We've basically ended the No Man's Sky like game discussion a while ago.
So the summary is we're excited for next. I've given my predictions, so this is my updated predictions. The first time I've ever given them are in this video. So
yeah, like in the end, basically. So you have to get through a lot of the convo before then. But I could edit it out and then put it up.
That's fine.
No, just put it up and be like. Like, these are LPlay's predictions. I don't know why they're on my channel, not his.
Yeah, do it. It'll be fun.
Just like have it like take one of your intros and put it there.
Just do everything. Like copy my title format.
Just put it out my channel. People are like, what? What's going on here? Just take the ukulele, everything.
That would be great because people will just click on it thinking it's my video, and that would be good.
Dude, there we go. It's a new video idea. All right, I think that's just going to end it for this What's Next podcast episode 2. This one went on for a lot longer, unless I decide to edit things out, because me and LPlays got off topic like 43 times in this video. So I think I'm gonna end it there, and make sure if you for some reason don't know who LPlays is, go check out his channel. The link will be in the description, as well as probably his Twitter, and also I'll pin it in the comments, just because nobody likes to read descriptions for some unknown reason, which is fine. So I'll pin it in the comments as well. You probably already subbed to him because he has more subscribers. Let's be real. This should be the other way. I should be on your channel.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do that at some point too.
Yeah, so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any comments for any of the random stuff we talked about in this video, just leave them down in the comments below. And that'll be it. And LPlays, you got anything to say to end it out? Hey, you do the outro. There you go.
Just thanks for having me on. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy me and JJ talking absolute nonsense for this amount of time, make sure you drop a like and a comment on this video, and we'll catch you in another one soon. Take care, guys, and peace.
Peace out.